believe I'm live. I believe in a thing called love. I believe in a thing called live. Just listen to the rhythm of my stream, my bitrate. Welcome. It is YGO Abridged. It is 20 years. It has been 20 years. Ugh. Weird. 20 weird years. 20 years of weird. Hang on, let me put out there that I'm actually live. Because I will forget to post this, and I want to make sure. Hi, folks in chat. Good to have you. Hang on, let me make sure I've got a link to this that I'm not messing up. Here we go. Okay, cool. I want to make sure people can see that I'm live. Hey, folks. Good to have you in the chat. Welcome. I might be a tad distracted today because I'm keeping an eye out for any messages from my family back home that I might receive over social media because I had some bad news. But nothing to be concerned with at the moment. I just want to make sure I'm available for them in case. But that's really all I've got going on, aside from hanging out with y'all and watching YGO Abridged, which, you know, I don't do that very often. I don't watch my show very often. You were watching The Boys, Dennis Bowen. Oh, I hope you are enjoying the adventures of Billy Butcher. With his ridiculous voice, his ridiculous accent. I say that. I can't talk shit about anybody's accent after watching the first 7 episodes of YGO Abridged. I did not have a single clue what was going on with my voice for half of those characters. Pegasus sounded very strange indeed. I can't even make myself sound that way anymore. How far did we get in the rewatch? We got up to episode 7. I wanted to get to episode 10. It was not in the cards. Get it? But I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch 10 episodes today either. It's, I'm just a bit, you know, like I said, distracted. Adam Lombardo, thank you for the $5 super chat. I hope whatever bad news you have results in you getting superpowers. If it somehow does, you will be the first to know. I'm not sure what manner of superpowers I will get. Flowers for joy. My husband says you got Americanized. Yes, unfortunately living in America, I say in America, he's going to be showing up later. Living in America does tend to do that to you after about 15 years. And that's how long I've been here. Weird. Only 5 years of YGO Abridged took place in England. Shot on location, you know. Greetings from Northwich. Oh, hey, Square Tree. From my neck of the woods. Well, my old neck of the woods. My classic neck. My woods. My body part of the forest. Americanized.
Yes, Americanized. You have... That's what I should call... Sorry. As soon as I start speaking like Maddock, I have to back the hell away from the microphone. Americanized. That's what we should call commanding people to be my mind slave. Stevenated. Americanized.
Hello. Mused, I missed the streams too. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've been... in a state of chaos, in a state of perpetual chaos. Bit more, Dave. Are you doing all of the episodes? That is the goal, but not in one stream. It's just not possible. It's just not happening. It's just not happening. Will I finish my gameplay? I would like to, Dual Use. I'd like to return to, what was it? Yu-Gi-Oh! Not Forbidden Memories. The other one. You know, where you replay the game. You replay the show. Eternal Sailor Moon, I got inspired by Abridged Marek and Bakura for my voice impressions of them. Well, don't go throwing them around. Maddock, you're just going to encourage him.
Yes, encourage me, you fool.
Legacy of the Duelist, that's what I meant. Legacy of the Duelist. I would like to continue playing that, yes. I do apologize. Alright. But yes, we are going to be watching the next... I'm going to say like at least 6 or 7... Oh no, I shouldn't say that. I don't have the working arms for it. I'm going to say at least 6 or 7 episodes of YGO Abridged today. That's my goal. I'd like to. If we don't, it's because I suck. Spinorama29, thank you for the super chat. Have you checked out CTV's 24-hour streams of Duel Monsters, GX Arc 5, and for some reason 5Ds, but only in German? 5 Deutschlands. That's what the D stands for. No, I haven't. I don't know what CTV is. But I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't need to watch that again. But, you know, I'd be curious to check out, you know, all the other shows, and German 5Ds for Das Jock Atlas. Ken Rose, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. British humor activated. Oh, yes. It's under there somewhere. In fact, I would argue, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, based on how these episodes are going to play out, but I think there is a bit of a British humor vibe to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Certainly in some of the more problematic areas. Margin Dratini, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, you got me back into the TCG, and now I've got a great circle of friends, and we even got to the European Championship, all because of you. Thanks. I don't know if you can credit me for that. I don't know if you can credit me for you getting to the championship, but that's incredible. That's amazing. The European Championship of Yu-Gi-Oh! Con TV. I've not seen the channel, no Spinorama. Thank you for, it's referring to Con TV. They loop Original and GX. And DAS 5Ds, obviously. Smarty Boy, thank you for the super chat. Do you own a hat that says backsides? I wish I did. I only have this one butts cap. I should get a various different hats that just talk about derrieres. One for every day of the week. One for every ass of the week. Adam Lombardo, thank you again for the super chat. Kartenspiele auf Motorraden. The Red Dwarf of our time. I don't know if I could compare Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged to Red Dwarf. Gosh. Maybe Season 7 of Red Dwarf. When it got not great. Briefly. Ben24 Jammin, thank you so much for the super chat. Love your channel. What is your fave Yu-Gi-Oh! Card? I like any of the cards that have the characters on them. The actual main cast, like Yugi and Joey. Yu-Gi-Oh! Friendship, cards like that. Unity is a good one that has the cards on, the characters on. But yeah, no, I also like Elemental Hero Neos because he's he got that space butt, space booty. Josh CH4, thank you for the super chat. I managed to catch you live. That's crazy. That is crazy. Jim, thank you for the super chat. Don't suppose you play GOAT format? I've been defeated by GOAT format. I'll tell you this. Oh my gosh. Hold up. You'll have to forgive me. I will get back to you. But Ash Gray, thank you for the $400 super chat. Bloody hell. Happy anniversary. I can't believe you and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have been married for 20 years. It's going on 20 years. Yeah, no, we have been in a very committed relationship. I've never cheated on Yu-Gi-Oh! Even though plenty of people have cheated at Yu-Gi-Oh! That's incredible, though. Thank you, Ash Gray, for the incredible donation there. Thank you so much for this incredible super chat. It is something. It blows my mind that me and Yu-Gi-Oh! Have been hand in hand for as long as we have. I'm very honored and excited and proud. You'll have to forgive me. I do have a bit of pride when it comes to the fact that I'm so, I hate to say it, synonymous with Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a lot of things that I could have been synonymous with, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a pretty cool thing to be synonymous with, in my opinion. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is awesome. I think it has a good message. It has great characters. It has some absurd things in it. Sometimes it's very dumb, but so am I. There's a lot in common right there. Good to have you guys in the chat. We will get to those problematic areas. We will. It's Andrew. It's gonna be a blast. We're gonna be cringing and apologizing. But as for GOAT format, Jim, somebody once played Yu-Gi-Oh! With me, which is a rare occasion, and I was defeated by the goats. He kept summoning goats. He kept activating goats and saying goats when he did it. And I was like, what is this fresh hell? Apparently it wasn't fresh at the time. It was an old strategy that everybody was using. Next episode when, says Warp Chaos? Imminently. My goal is to have it out by the time I'm done watching these episodes. Not today, but in the coming week or so. Fire Rider 2000, thank you for the super chat. Love your work, but can we get a quick word from Lord Freezer? A quick word? I don't know if I'm capable of doing it quickly. Maybe about 5 minutes or so, which could be, it could be 5 seconds, it could be 5 years. Let's be honest. But I want to say a very, very happy 20th anniversary to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. If it weren't for you, a much better Abridged series wouldn't have been made with me in it. And you're welcome for that. Freezer Kenna is getting a little too squeaky and posh there. All right, I'm going to read a few more of these super chats, and then we're going to start watching the show, because I want to jump right into it. I don't know how long I have today. Cold Deck Star, thank you for the super chat. The amount of friends I've made over the years by quoting YGO Abridged, thank you for the many laughs you've given. Well, thank you for laughing, honestly. The laughter is its own reward. I do appreciate it. And Wing Zero, thank you for the $5 super chat. Have you ever played Duelist of the Roses for PlayStation 2? It's like Yu-Gi-Oh meets chess. I think you're talking about Dungeon Dice Monsters. No, he's not. You're not. It is Duelist of the Roses. I've never played it, though. I would love to play it. You know what? On stream, I'd love to play it. Am Candy, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK. Just want your thoughts if abridging is something that people can still do, or something that just won't stick in the current landscape. Unfortunately, I'm going to be entirely honest. I don't know how much of a... I wouldn't recommend doing an abridged series these days. You know, unless it's just for funsies, unless you're doing it just for yourself and for your friends. I think that's absolutely valid if you're just doing it sort of as a laugh and you're not going to publish it necessarily online. And also, I'm gonna level with you guys. A lot of people back in the day, and there's nothing wrong with it, a lot of people back in the day got into abridging because they wanted to do voiceover as a profession. And that, honestly, for a good time, and I think it still is to an extent, it was a good way of putting yourself out there and seeing if you had what it took and, you know, making a name for yourself to an extent. It kind of backfires on you these days. People don't want to know that you're an abridger. I mean, I'd be hesitant to say people in the industry were like pro abridging at any point, really. But it's good practice, honestly. If you're just doing it for yourself and you're just doing it to see what you can do and stretching your vocal cords and, you know, just trying to see if it's remotely in your wheelhouse or if you would have fun doing it, it's good practice for voiceover. So if it's something you're doing just for yourself, I highly encourage it. But if it's something you're wanting to put out there as a product that you're putting on YouTube and making like views up the wazoo, it's just difficult because a lot of those things get taken down so quickly. It's a different landscape entirely. It's much harder to get. It's harder to get noticed generally. Back when I started doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, it was the Wild West, and anything goes, and everything was being sort of celebrated. And I just happened to be there doing this, and I was very grateful for it. I was very honored and excited by the audience that accrued as a result. But I just don't know if that can happen. I don't know if you can repeat the same thing these days. Butterbot, thank you so much for the super chat. Welcome back, Derriere Devotee. Thank you. I am a butt. I'm trying to think of an alliteration for butt. I am a butt aficionado. That don't work. Clawbear, thank you for the 420 super chat. We love it. Can I get a motivational message from Yami Bakura? Okay, I suppose. What am I motivating you to do? You know, there were many people who told me back in the day that I would never get my screen time, that I would never get my vengeance on the Pharaoh. But guess who's laughing now? So don't ever let anyone tell you that you won't be able to do it, that it will take too long, that you won't be able to pull it off. Never give up on whatever evil or good machinations you have going on. Don't ever stop believing in yourself, because you can ruin the Pharaoh's life if you wish. It's absolutely something you can achieve. And if I can achieve that, you can achieve anything. Coco for Bird, thank you for the super chat. You're the actual voice of Seto Kaiba as far as I'm concerned. Well, you're very kind. But there's a few voice actors I'd put before me, certainly. Suda Ken, for one. You do such a good job at the voices, but I love your Kaiba especially. Well, you're very kind. You're very kind. Reasonable Rob, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, I wanted to share that I finally landed a paid voiceover gig. Would never have got that far if it weren't for you and your series. Hey, congratulations. That's so cool. Reasonable Rob, I am unreasonably happy for you. Congrats. Seriously. That's really cool. I hope that you keep succeeding. I'm going to get to the end of these super chats as best I can, and then I'm going to watch the episodes. Syrup Waffle, thank you for the super chat. Dear Karibo, thanks for the many years of abridged fun. Doodle la 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 from KoekJ1138. Hey! Send my regards to Yugi, Atem, Frieza, etc. Oh, I'm glad I'm not considered etc. That's right, you're next to my name. That's a huge honor for you.
I don't consider sitting next to a filthy monkey to be any form of honor, pharaoh or not. I'm emperor of the known universe, you know.
Well, I don't know anything about that. I'm from a different show. All right. Oh, there's a few. I'm sorry. I'm going to really quickly rush through these. And Mad Dormouse, how does it... Oh, no, that's an incredible thing to be thanked in the Iron Widow novel. That's incredible. Like, I was hugely honored that I was acknowledged in that novel. Thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, no, if you've never read Iron Widow, I highly recommend it. And for some reason, I'm in there. I'm referenced in the acknowledgements in the special thanks section. Just it blew my mind when I learned that. Johnny D 1988, thank you for the super chat. I'm gonna really quickly go through these as quickly as I can. Shreddy Paws, advice on nailing your Mokuba impression. Oh, just shrink your throat as much as you can. Just really tighten your throat and just be like, oh, my big brother. I don't know. I'm actually really bad at explaining the methodology behind it. But I think just getting really shrill as you can. I don't know how you do that, but I tend to just sort of tighten my throat. It's probably not a good advice, but it's all I can think to say. Jacato, thank you for the super chat. Said this before, but thanks again for making YGO Abridged. If it wasn't for abridging, I have no idea what I'd be doing on the net, since I actually was one of those folks in the day who got into voiceover because of it. Heck yeah, I love to hear it, Jacato. I'm really glad. I'm really glad it put you on a positive and upwards journey. A trajectory. Nyarion, thank you for the super chat. Hey, sorry if someone else asked this. Is the Naruto Bridge series officially discontinued? No, I would never say it was over. Naruto spoof series, comedy, fandub spoof series show. That's one of my favorite things I've ever done. And honestly, when I'm done with Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I'm not gonna focus entirely on Naruto spoof, but I would love to bring back Naruto spoof. I love that show. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna back off from the mic, but I love doing Naruto voice! Ha ha! Yeah! Ninjas! Etc! Datebayo! I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of my own thing. Dark Killer, thank you for the super chat. Which character is your favorite to voice act? I love Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Happy 20th, episode 13 is my favorite. Favorite character to voice act? It's often a toss-up between Tristan and Marik. The dumber the character, the better. I'm a big fan of Marik. He's kind of my spirit animal. If my spirit animal needed assistance. Adam Lombardo, thank you for the super chat. Last one, I'll shut up. Do everything in your life because it's fun. If success follows, it's a bonus. Also, LK got asked, do you already have a joke for the reveal of the Pharaoh's name? Oh. At one point, I thought he was going to say Dan Green, and then I think I used that in a video. No, I don't have a joke for the name, because I think the name should just be Atem, because I've already foreshadowed it. But I'm gonna have to think on that. I don't have a specific joke in mind. Solid JJ, thank you so much for the super chat. Gosh, my hat does say butts. It's funny. We love bottoms. Thank you, Solid JJ. It's good to see you, and thank you so much for reaching out earlier. Sorry I didn't see it till today. Starleska, thank you for the super chat. LK, thanks for the years of incredible laughs. You were my childhood, wishing you nothing but the best. Thank you for laughing. I hope that your adulthood is also full of positivity and laughter. Oh, I'm really quickly getting through these. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. Nyarion, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello from Bournemouth. I used to go there all the time with my gran. Jesse WF Dusk, thank you for the super chat. Happy anniversary to Capsule Monsters. Oh yes, of course. Capsule Monsters Abridged. The crown jewel of abridging. Eliezer, thank you for the super chat. Hey LK, how are you? Why did you make Yami gay? Have you seen me? I am so fabulous. Yeah. I mean, I didn't make him do that anything. He just chose that. I chose my sexuality. I get to do that. I'm king. I summon my homosexuality in attack mode. Whole Horse, thank you for the super chat. Loved your stuff for decades. Used to save your stuff on my Gen 1 iPod Touch. I've heard so many people tell me that they had my stuff on iPod. It blows my mind. Left a positive impression on my life, and always glad to see you around. I'm so grateful to hear. I hope that your life continues to have positivity in it. Positivity in it. Prunky, a little support. Thank you so much for the super chat, Prunky. Also question, do you sometimes practice voices like Bakura and Marek so you don't forget how to do it years between them? Absolutely. I'm always walking around doing voices. Just to make sure they're still functioning. The characters sort of live in my head a little bit, and it's worrying because they're all very they're very a lot of heated competition between them. Couple more super chats. Shoto, thank you for the super chat. I just wanted to tell you thank you for everything. Well, thank you, Shoto. Thank you for that. And Flowers for Joy, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. All right. Do I think Kaiba and Yugi are toxic bi friends? Yes, we are bi and we are friends. No, I am none of those. I don't know what I am. You are toxic, though. Yeah, toxic because of my giant germ card. I can activate it and do things. Okay, speaking of activating and doing things, let's get the episode on the screen because we've waited long enough. And I do apologize. There is probably going to be some downtime between episodes because I like to read the super chats just to make sure people aren't being ignored. But yeah, I want to make sure that we can watch as many episodes as possible today. This episode is episode 8. Mjolnir, JM, LK, when you hosted Jesse and whatever D&D podcast that was to help him get his top surgery, one of my favorite memories is you doing all your abridged voices back to back to back. I forget, but that was a great night. That was a great day. It was a very long stream they did. All right. This is episode 8 called The Plot Thinnens, which I don't know if I'm casting my memory back as best I can. The reason it's called The Plot Thinnens is an MST3K reference, and 9 times out of 10, if you don't know why I make a joke, it's because I'm referencing something, which, you know, some people like that. But the title of this episode is an MST3K reference because Mike, at one point, one of the hosts watching the movie that they're watching says, and the plot thinnens. And I just always thought that was a really funny joke. I don't know how it applies here. I think I just wanted to use it. All right, let's go. We do have video sign. Let's turn the volume up. Okay. And one other thing I want to acknowledge is when we got to episode 5 or so, or episode 4, people were like, here's where the microphone gets an upgrade. And I genuinely don't remember upgrading my microphone. It's possible I bought a new microphone somewhere. Like, I don't even know if it was like a different brand. I think it was the same microphone, just not old. But people were like, it sounds better now. And I'm like, it sounds clearer. I don't know about better.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a production of the Children's Television Workshop.
It sure is a shame that Mokuba got kidnapped again. If we'd been paying the slightest bit of attention, it probably wouldn't have happened.
That's me really focusing on doing the accent there. That's why I'm struggling. I'm like, I gotta sound like I'm from a different place.
Oh, he gets kidnapped like once a week. I'm sure he's used to it by now.
It feels like I'm dying inside.
That's because you're dying.
Come on, let's go play some more card games. Hey, look, some idiot dropped his cards. Hands off, those are mine.
Oh, that's right. This is where Tristan's voice actually changes in the actual English dub. For those of you who don't know, it starts off with Sam Riegel playing Tristan, and then it switches to... Oh, the show is a bit loud. I appreciate you letting me know. Let me know if that continues to be a problem, because yesterday I started off watching them and people were saying how quiet the videos were, so I turned the volume up. I wasn't using a laptop doer. No, not at all. It was a regular-ass microphone, as far as I remember. But yes, this is where it goes from Sam Riegel to Greg Abbey, and Greg Abbey, of course, an incredible voice talent. Sam Riegel, an incredible voice talent, but they switched the actor. I assume they wanted a different vibe for Tristan that wasn't working with Sam Riegel. But no, Greg Abbey comes in and becomes Tristan, and we all know we love his Tristan. We all know and love that particular voice. So I wanted to acknowledge it. I wanted, as a fan, to make a point of commentary on that, which was not necessarily to be like, the new voice is better or worse, but just to acknowledge that there is a change. And I remember thinking, should I actually keep the voice permanently changed? And as soon as I made this video in particular, I made the decision, no, it isn't funny. It's just not.
Tristan, what the hell happened to your voice? It sounds all weird and stuff. What are you guys talking about? Seriously, it sounds completely different. Does it hurt to talk like that? You guys, I've always sounded like this, I swear. That voice is all wrong. What happened to the Tristan I knew and loved?
I'm pretty sure that when I wrote Taya saying that voice is all wrong, I did that because she sounds bad too.
This is unacceptable.
In my parody, I mean. Seriously. Fly a Taya game. Seriously.
It sure feels good to know that my friends are backing me up.
Man, Joey, these guys look like they're way out of your league. Maybe we should go looking for some 3-year-olds.
He'd be better off facing a dueling monkey. You guys are the worst friends ever.
You can't say that, Joey. You just had an episode earlier where you were like, remember when we took your Millennium Puzzle? Everybody's kind of assholes to each other in this. AE double, even Yugi's regular guy voice has its own merit for being fun to do, so I understand the change with Tristan. It's true. The funnier the voice, the funner it is to do.
Hello, Joseph. Happy to see me? Yes, Talking Cleavage. I'm very happy to see you. Say hello to your next opponent.
I know some people, like, I don't know, I honestly don't know if anybody finds the boob jokes problematic. I know, you know, there's some sexist humor here and there that I use when it comes to the girls of the show. And I don't think there's a lot of that. I personally think just talking about her boobs is funny. I just think that being like, hey, it's a pair of boobs and they're talking to me. Just the idea is funny.
It's Rex Raptor. He was a regional finalist. You said region. I foolishly accept your challenge.
Don't do it, Joey. He'll clearly wipe the floor with you.
It is implied that I am punching you. Gasp!
Yeah, okay, so here in the original version, I don't even know if it's shown in the Japanese, but yeah, Joey punches Tristan and he goes down. And I had to, at the time, I had to work without the footage because I didn't know how to get the Japanese version. So I was just like, I have to be like characters saying, I am punching you, but I'm off screen.
Hey, no fair. You can't punch me while I'm not on screen.
Like that.
You had it coming. Ever since your voice changed, you've been like a totally different person. Well, actually, you've been like the same person, just with a totally different voice. But you know what I mean.
Good luck winning this card game without my help.
Yeah, because you're usually such an important character.
Why is Joey so sassy today? What's going on? Did Joey wake up on the wrong side of the Brooklyn bed?
Just remember our deal, Rex. And watch out for his time wizard. That's what he used to defeat my harpies.
Herpes.
You have herpes? Harpies! Stop saying herpes.
It is funny. He yells, stop saying herpes. Just because, I mean, it's like, it's a pretty puerile joke, but the fact that he thinks she's just yelling the word herpes at him.
I'm gonna go find Tristan. Oh, I love it when he abandons me.
I actually, look, there are some episodes where people are like, do you think you would redo this episode? And the reason I would redo this one, for any reason, is because there's a bunch of Rex and my stuff that just isn't included. Like, Rex kind of just tags along for this episode, whereas in the original version he shows up and like has a whole conversation with Mai and she teases him. Like, there was a lot more that could have been mined from that, and I feel like I skipped it just so I could focus on the card game, which I'm not focusing on.
Must wash away the sin.
That's a
Hey,
classic.
Tristan, what's up?
Yugi, what are you doing here? You should be helping Joey.
Joey doesn't need my help. Don't you get it, Tristan? This is Joey's coming-of-age episode where he proves he's a real man by winning a children's card game all by himself.
I suppose, yeah, no. Well, I forgot that I put these fucking text things here. I need to bring these back just because they're obnoxious, but also part of the show's identity to be like, hey, I'm going to stop to tell you, yes, this is what I mean. Seriously. What do you think Tristan's sin is that he's washing away? What is the sin that he committed? I like to think that it was him saying, in another few hours the sun will rise. That's the sin. The Adult Swim screen. Yes, indeed.
Well, he's got a hot sister, so
Whoa.
I guess I can forgive him for assaulting me.
And that's what true friendship is all about.
What?
Let's just go back.
Hey, Joey, I've returned to give you my support.
Hey, Tristan, I don't care.
The reason I remember that line is because I remember re-recording it so many times because I was like, it's not funny. I still don't think it's that funny. But at the time, I remember hearing it and being like, the original take was something like, hey, Tristan, I don't care. Which, honestly, thinking about it now, might have been funnier. But I tried so many different takes of, hey, Tristan, I don't care. And I don't even know if the joke even works. But I just remember sitting there recording it over and over.
Time roulette, go.
Bam, bam. Oh, this joke, this upset some people. There were some people who brought up this joke and were like, this Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged is not cool because look at what it's talking about creationism being wrong. I genuinely forgot about this until this moment. There were people that were really up in arms about this, and I was like, but look, it's the Time Wizard proves that it's wrong. Pixel Bomb, hey Tristan, I don't give a shit would be funnier. I guess. I don't know if Joey was ready to start swearing just yet. Boreal Oreo, I like Joey saying it the same way Tristan said it. Yeah, that's I think what I was going for, but I don't know. Is it funny? Some of you say yes.
Check it out. My dragon's stoned.
Well done, Joey. You believed in the heart of the cards and it came through for you.
Actually, it was more like dumb luck.
Same thing, really.
No.
Yeah, I guess. Oh no, we're coming up on one of the worst fucking jokes. Fucking. I'm laughing about it, but ugh. What am I saying? So that bit with the heart of the cards, I think that's the first time I've acknowledged the heart of the cards in the parody. I want to say there might have been a heart of the cards reference in like episode 1 or 2. I don't think so though. This was the first time where I was like, the heart of the cards is just random chance, and it's card games. It doesn't make it isn't a thing. And I think that's the most boring possible take you can have on it. There's so many things you could do with the heart of the cards that, you know, I just sort of wussed out and was like, yeah, because it's not real. Could have been something really interesting you did with that. Anyway, we're coming up on a really, really dumb, bad joke where the implication is Mai is sexually assaulted. It's not funny. I'm not proud of it. I would go back and remove it if I could, but it's there. So just know that I disowned this joke specifically. And if you want to know how upsetting this joke is, PewDiePie once used it in one of his videos. So that's how bad.
Now that I'm all alone, nothing could possibly go wrong.
It's raping time.
It's not
There's
funny.
something in the bushes.
That's funny. The Omen music, that's funny. The Omen music over footage of Ryo Bakura is always funny. I almost wish I'd done that more as the series went on, because it really is funny to see this cute little face with Ronnie's.
Hello guys, it's me, Bakura. I've been stalking you for the past 5 episodes. I hope that doesn't seem too suspicious.
Hey, it's the one accent I'm not struggling with.
Do we know you?
He does seem familiar somehow.
What's the deal with his inappropriate accent?
You can tell that I was really excited to introduce both this character and this joke of him being an obvious villain, just because I think it's an easy joke to make, but it really just sort of writes itself because they're so oblivious to it, you know?
Hello there, I'm evil.
Let's all compare ourselves to our cards in order to set up a plot point for the next episode.
I'm the flame.
Whoa! What? Sorry, What? The fucking Star Wars kid. You are kidding me. I at no point did I think that I threw a fucking Star Wars kid reference joke in here. So if you don't know, do you know the Star Wars kid? If you don't, just Google Star Wars kid. It probably comes up. But you know, the victim of a sort of online, you know, mockery campaign that because he filmed himself doing a bunch of sword moves, and people edited it. So this is actually an edit of the video where he's got a double-bladed lightsaber, and he actually looks really cool. So here, I guess this is an homage to Ghislaine, the Star Wars kid.
I'm the Cyber Commander.
That's topical. He's in movies right now. He's in the theaters right now. He's coming to Amazon Prime Video, played by Idris Elba. Tristan, you've got timely taste. What are the odds?
I'm the Magician of Faith. And I'm the Dark Magician.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, that's good. That's cute because he's Yugi and he's little, and that's the Black Mage, of course. For those of you who don't know, the Dark Magician is called the Black Magician in the Japanese, in the original version, which I think is a way cooler name.
What about you, Bakura? This is my favorite card.
Fucking Sephiroth.
Oops, wrong one. There we go. The Change of Heart.
Oh, he's like, oops, a reference. That's not what I meant. The Change of Heart, I actually think is a really cool card design, and it's a really You know, it's even more laying on thick. He's like, I'm secretly evil, you know. Aren't you paying attention to all the telltale flags?
If you want to know how it works, we could have a duel right now.
You know, now that we've compared him to Man-at-Arms, I have to think of Tristan as being played by Idris Elba, which would be really great casting. If they did a live-action Yu-Gi-Oh!, everybody else is age-appropriate, and then it's Idris Elba just stood there in a school uniform.
That sounds innocent enough.
Zero
By the
effort.
way, there's something I'd like you to know. You're a bunch of idiots.
Ebakura.
This came completely out of nowhere. That's what you get for hogging all my screen time, you little bitch.
Oh, I tried to swear, but it didn't sound good at all. You little bitch.
Now to take the Millennium Puzzle and steal your role as main character. What in Zork's name is going on?
The first reference of Zork. I thought that he showed up in episode 9 and nowhere else, but episode 8, you get a little Zork acknowledgement. That's exciting. We know he's coming into the show, the actual show. Within the next, 10, 15 episodes, you should see Zork in the actual abridged episodes. It's weird.
Get your hands off my puzzle, you limey fruitcake.
There it is.
What say you and I have a card game to decide which one of us deserves to be the main character? And when I win, this show will be all mine.
See, this is a criticism that I have of my writing for this show in general, is that sometimes the meta humor gets away from itself. Sometimes the meta stuff is a little too overwhelming. It overpowers the actual parody aspect of it. And him saying, let's have a card game to see who the real main character is. I mean, it's not too much, but I think it's verging on just being like, you're getting too far away from what's actually happening here. I also love Bakura, evil Bakura, in his little sweater vest.
Okay, but who are you?
I'm Bakura.
Never heard of you.
Satanic. Oh, we've got Bubba Hotep music playing. I overuse the soundtrack from Bubba Hotep, but I love that soundtrack. If you've never seen the movie Bubba Hotep, it might not be up your alley, but it's got a beautiful soundtrack, a beautiful score. I've forgotten his name, who did it, but he's the guy who does Brian Tyler. He does the Super Mario Brothers movie soundtracks as well, and those are incredible.
Hi, folks. Here at Yu-Gi-Oh! We like to have a good laugh as much as the next guy, but there comes a time when the laughter must stop, and that's usually when
I make a
somebody
reference.
dies. Recently, a treasured member of our cast passed away. His name was Tristan Taylor's voice.
He meant so much to all of us.
His name was
He
Tristan
made us
Taylor's
laugh,
voice.
Made us cry. I can't believe he's really gone.
This actually did lead a lot of people to believe that the person who voiced him in my show, in my parody, died. But it was me. There were people who were like, I don't know why you would put this in the show if somebody hadn't actually died. But no, it's because it's funny.
When I first heard that Tristan's voice had died, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. His voice was like family to me.
Okay. The zoom in on him being out of frame is funny.
I was with him when his voice passed away. His voice had been struggling to overcome an addiction to alcohol, and, well, one thing led to another.
Yeah, funny.
Tristan's voice, have you been drinking?
I can't remember because I'm so drunk.
Hey, wait! Don't run with those scissors!
You're not the boss of me. Ouch!
I think that's just me going like thud somewhere off camera, just hitting something. I didn't know where sound effects were. I didn't know how to get them.
Oh no, he's dead. What happened was just terrible. I'd never want anything bad to happen to my voice.
Neither would I.
And so we dedicate this episode to the memory of Tristan's voice. Good night, sweet prince, and a flight of angels sing thee to thy rest.
That was way funnier than I remember it being. I remember it being long and stupid and not good. But this is my first time seeing it. This is my first time seeing this sequence in like, I want to say in like more than 10 years I haven't watched that. That was actually pretty funny. I have to admit. Back in the day, I was like, I can't do too much stuff like that. I should just be parodying the show. But that was legit. That was a pretty valuable part of the episode, in my opinion. All right, really quickly, let me... oh no, he is dead. Really quickly, let me look at some of these super chats before I forget. Because I will forget. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared. Nintendo 64 kid and Star Wars kid in one video? Bloody hell. I was referencing all the kids. Let me see here. Looking for super chats in all the wrong places. Here we go. Super chats. Reading them. Here we go. We've got several super chats waiting. Aussie Dragoon, thank you for the super chat. Have you not returned to Crapsule Monsters because you're jealous of Yami's invisible bicycle? You've called me out. You've got me dead to rights. That invisible bicycle is a thing of beauty, and he rides it like nobody's business. So, yeah, no, that's a heck of a thing. I'm very intimidated by it. Ratchet, thank you for the super chat. Bandit Keith had great taste in movies, especially Pearl Harbor. And then you wrote, those Japaneses. Okay. Yes, I love Michael Bay. What was the last Michael Bay movie that even came out? Was it a Transformers thing? What is he doing these days? Michael Bay. I don't want to put a name here. Thank you for the super chat. What was your inspiration for Darts' voice? The inspiration, quote unquote, was the character Quaffio from Perfect Hair Forever, who he talks in kind of a quasi-Cajun accent, and I can't do the accent myself. But my friend Takahata101 from Team 4-Star was very excited to try it himself, and he really ran with it. He really did. He made it his own, even though it's not his own. I'll see you, Castanjera. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Al, thank you for the super chat. Congrats for the 20th anniversary, LK. Thanks for the laughs and everything throughout these years. My wife is not a huge Yu-Gi-Oh fan, but she loves the joke, try believing in the heart of the cards from episode 70. I assume that was said either sarcastically or was responded with, I've confused myself with that sentence. I assume somebody responded to that with the heart of the what? The heart of the what? The heart of the what now? Invader Weasel, thank you for the super chat. I had a skit idea where once Yugi can talk to Atem after Duelist Kingdom, he asks all about his blackouts before Death Tea and learns everything Atem did. That's a funny idea, actually. That would be very. It would be even funnier because in my parody, Yugi would probably be like, "Yeah, they deserve that. Yeah, they talk shit, they get hit by magic." Anime 9100, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Karibo, thanks for being a big part of my life and helping to inspire me. You're one of my favorite people in the world. You are awesome. Thanks. Oh, well, thank you. I hope that you encounter people way cooler than me, because if I'm the coolest, if I'm one of your favorite people, you need to meet more people. But thank you. You're very kind. I will accept the compliment. Thank you so much. Jimmy Savage, thank you for the super chat. Can you explain the voice difference for Leon between episodes? I don't think it's bad, just noticeable. Thank you so much for being you. I mean, I can't really speak to that. I don't know what you're referring to. If you're referring to any aspect of the performance, you want to talk? Yeah, people are talking about the Leon.
When did we record the first Leon?
It would have been like 2020.
Okay, so
they can't hear you very well.
I'll get in a little closer.
This is the voice of Leon in my parody. This is my partner, Marin Miller. Hello, Marin.
Hi, I'm the voice of Leon. Probably shouldn't be admitting to that. But specifically, the reason why the voice might have had a noticeable change is because I started taking testosterone in about 2021, 2022. My voice started changing in May 2022.
Oh, it's picking your face up on my VTuber.
Hello, I'm commandeering little Karibo's skin to speak for me. Anyway, so yes, my voice started changing in about 2022, and so that's why maybe you might have heard a bit of more ballin'. He's got the puberty going on. More ballin'?
More ball?
His balls got bigger.
All right.
Anyway, I'm gonna go.
Thank you. I appreciate you coming in and helping inform us there. Yes, that was Marin Miller, the voice of Leon in my... Well, they didn't want to acknowledge that, but that's... Well, yeah. It's pretty apparent. Will, thank you for the super chat. Hey, little Karibo, just wanted to thank you for entertaining me through my ups and downs. Screw the rules, I have money. Heck yeah. Screw the rules, I hope that you are doing all right. Flowers for Joy, thank you for the super chat. Love your name. Another super chat because I forgot to send a message for something you don't get enough credit for as being a writer. Do you still write? I'm a writer. Your fanfics were a major inspiration to me. I don't write as much as I would like to, but I still consider myself to be a pretty good writer. I'm very proud of the stuff that I have put out there. And if you don't know, if you search Little Karibo on fanfiction.net, you can find a bunch of my fanfics. There's not that many, but I'm proud of them. And I'm very grateful to hear that you are a writer and that I somehow indirectly or directly inspired you. I hope that your works find their own audience so that you inspire other people as well. Thank you for sharing. Soft Crunch, thank you for the super chat. Came to your booth at Otakon years ago and bought the Screw the Rules I Have Money shirt, but never wore it because my mom said it was offensive. You're not the first person to have a mum who thought that our shirts were offensive because I had another shirt called Foxy Boxes, which was a
reference to the Manic Plays Bloodlines series of Let's Plays.
And it was a shirt with Marek on it, and he was sat in a bunch of boxes, and it had foxes on them. I think, I don't know if Beaky's in the chat, but I think Beaky designed that. I actually think I might be wrong about that, but sorry if I'm crediting you wrong there. I should credit the actual artist if I can. But no, it was a shirt with Marek on it, and he was surrounded by boxes and foxes, and somebody bought it from our booth. Not you, Beaky. I apologize. I credited the wrong artist. I'm sorry, Beaky. It was, in my opinion, a pretty tame shirt with a kind of lewd title. And someone's mum, the person who bought it, their mum came to the con the next day and demanded their money back and said, "Have you seen what you sold to my daughter?" And I was like, I feel like you kind of have to really be thinking about that stuff in order to see the lewdness there. But I get it, so I gave them money back, and I don't think the shirt was that bad. I don't know. Cheese Samurai, thank you for the super chat. This show does accessories well. Dual discs and Dual Kingdom glove. Also, hey, they're remastering everything nowadays. Why not your show? My show, if I remastered it, I feel like some of the charm would be gone. I think honestly, part of what is appealing to people about my show is that it does feel rough around the edges. It does sound like something a guy threw together in the space of an evening. So I think if you remastered it, it would kind of defeat the charm of it. But maybe I'm wrong. I attempted to remaster the first episode at least once, and it was not received very positively. It was actually received very I wouldn't say very negatively, but there was some negative responses, and I was like, oh, people don't like that, I guess. All right. Adam Lombardo, thank you for the super chat. Tristan played Magic the Gathering. That was the sin. I attempted to play Magic the Gathering once, and I was confused and overwhelmed. So I'm not capable of sinning that way. Cheese Samurai, thank you for the super chat. Wash away this sin, which I know what you're referring to, and I agree. Andrew Brown, thank you for the super chat. Rumors say Marek is responsible for TNA Creative from 2002 to 2014.
That's right. Total non-stop Marek. That's not how you spell it. TNM. Yes, I am a wrestling booker on the side. You can't be truly evil unless you've done some booking for a wrestling promotion at some point.
And Michaela Rigg, thank you for the super chat. Can't believe it's been 20 years. So many memories. Will forever love the Marek Plays videos especially. Did Marek finally realize Bakura is in love with him? Their dynamic was always my favorite. Give us a small banter. Okay.
Hey, Bakura.
What is it, Marek, who I don't love, despite what the super chat says?
Oh, it's okay. I wasn't paying any attention to that. But you are always paying so much attention to me when I'm playing video games. You're always like, what you doing? And leaning on my shoulder and being like, let me see, I want to play. And putting your arms around my waist and grabbing the controller.
I don't do any of that, Marek. Why are you describing fictional events?
Man, that's something that happened like 5 minutes ago when I was playing video games. When I was playing Pokopia.
I just really like the Pokemon is all. I want to hang out with them.
Yeah, you want to hang out with the Pokemon while touching me.
There you go. There you are.
I am a wrestling promoter and also I queer bait. I am pure evil.
Well, who else have we got super chat wise? Jesse Dusk, thank you for the super chat. I was the one who liked the more deadpan Tristan voice. You liked it? I'm glad. I'm glad somebody did. Kieran S. Hey, LK. Thank you for the super chat. I was a Patreon supporter and fan since 2009. You sent me a handwritten letter I still have. Are you still in LA? I hope your health is doing better these days. My health is unfortunately constantly in a state of flux, which has me quite fluxed. But I am doing okay today. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, I'm waiting on some. I'm waiting to hear back from my family back home because they're having some trouble there. It's nothing that I can really do anything about imminently, but I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I haven't heard the entire context of it, so if I seem distracted at any point during the stream, that's what I'm waiting for. But I myself, I'm pretty stable right now where I'm at. I'm glad you still have the handwritten letter, and I am indeed still in Los Angeles, which is a weird place for me. Has Dan Green ever told me to stop my videos, Duel, you say? No, Dan Green, I don't think he's that kind of guy. I don't think he would tell anybody to do that. Solar Regis, thank you for the super chat there. Appreciate the GBP. And Matt Levy, thank you for the super chat. Any chance of you doing more Evil Council Season 0 or Crapsule Monsters or even 5Ds and Naruto? I would love to do more of all of those. It's just right now I'm really focused on finishing Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged because I really would like to say before I throw off my mortal coil that I was able to finish the show. And I feel like if I get sidetracked by side content, it will just not happen. I will be stuck doing that instead. But I appreciate your passion, and I do really care about getting more of those series out at some point as well. Especially Naruto and Evil Council. I don't know about 5Ds. 5Ds I might not do just because starting another Yu-Gi-Oh! Parody, you know, from the start and going for years again, I just don't know if I'd be able to pull that off. I just don't know if it's already been a whole thing, you know. I've gotten this far. I'm proud of finishing potentially Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, but 5Ds that would be a whole other task. Rogue Decept, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I love your content and how you paved the way for others. Truly are the GOAT of the fan-made parodies. Well, you're very kind. I do appreciate that. I'm trying my best, and I'm honestly glad to see so many other people jump into the Abridged scene as well when they did. When it was a thriving industry of parody. when parody was a natural resource on YouTube. Indy6S, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy anniversary, Tiny Karibo. Thanks to you, I can't ever hear the DBZ theme without Marek singing.
This show's about people playing card games and lots of very sexy men sparking.
That's right. I'm glad you like that. Every so often I do hear that. I hear cha-la, frig cha-la. Just Puck P, thank you for the super chat. Is it true you dubbed for a Disney sitcom? Yeah, I guess. Violetta, somebody mentioned it the other day in chat, I think. But I played a bunch of side voices, but I was a recurring character in Violetta where I dubbed one of the teachers who was kind of a villainous teacher. He was kind of trying to throw a wrench in the works for Violetta and friends. So I was an evil character on Violetta. I don't know how many of you have watched Violetta, but I showed up on there for, I want to say like 10 episodes, maybe. Maybe. There was singing in that show, and I didn't get to do any. Anime 9100. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think you're awesome after meeting lots of people. Well, I do think that meeting and having so many good people in my life is part of what makes me half as good as I am. They certainly lift me up and help me become a better person than I was yesterday. Pink Joe, thank you for the super chat. Happy 20 years. Thank you for all the laughs. I love Lady Gaga and I listen to your parody songs often. Great job. Lots of love, LK. Well, thank you. I enjoy doing the Lady Gaga parodies as well. I hope one day maybe she'd hear one of them and be like, that was stupid, but maybe get some enjoyment out of it. Livy Mitchell, gosh, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, big fan here. Still remember meeting you in Scunthorpe at your performance of The Blackadder. So thrilled you are still going and can't wait to see what is next. Any chance of more Season 0? I'd love to do more Season 0. I actually really would like to do the Bakura episodes, or episode of Season 0, because that's such a fun gimmick where he's playing Dungeons and Dragons with everybody. But yeah, you went to the Blackadder performance, did you, where I played Baldric? I think that was one of, if not the last performance I did with that theater group. So thank you for being there and seeing that. And I hope that you had a good time hanging out and meeting me as well. Thank you so much. Jimmy Savage, thank you for the super chat. I assumed Martin was the voice for Leon. I didn't mean to ask personal questions. Oh, it's not personal. I think it's a valid question if you saw a difference. And no, you're good. I wished my voice was that. I wish I had that much range. Unfortunately, I do not. But yes, it's my lovely partner, Marin. All right, a few more super chats, and then we will jump into the next episode, episode 9, which is the Bakura duel. X-Lego6, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for all the years of laughs. I always imagine Tristan saying the phrase from Pink Floyd's One of These Days. I don't know this, but one of these days I'm gonna cut you into little pieces. I'm not familiar with the song offhand. You'll have to forgive me. Mitch, thank you for the super chat. When I voiced Ace Rayrak. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I don't think I am. Asararak. In my Dungeons and Dragons campaign, I used your Marik Ishtar voice crossed with Skeletor from He-Man as my inspiration. It was well received.
Yes, he's basically a chill Skeletor, is Marik. Beast man.
Well, I'm glad that, honestly, I've heard a lot of people say that the voices and doing impressions have helped with their roleplay tabletop stuff. So you are in good company. Cheese Samurai, thank you for the super chat. How did Tristan's new voice die? Was he running near a pool this time? I went into the pool less than 30 minutes after I'd eaten. That's what happened. That's not even me. It's the other guy. I went into a pool less than 30 minutes after I ate food. It's weird to be going back to the weird new Tristan voice. Nick Van Steertigum, thank you so much for the super chat. I sang the Pokemon theme song in Joey's voice with "nyeh" instead of the 3 guitar riffs between strophes, and that was super fun. You mean like "nyeh nyeh nyeh, I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was, nyeh 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 nyeh," like that? Reckless DWR, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Little Karibo. Was great meeting you twice in San Jose for a con, and thank you for making the Crapsule Monsters series. Congrats on 20 years. A lot of shout outs to Crapsule Monsters today. That's some good crap. And thank you. It was good seeing you. Solar Regis, thank you for the super chat again. Imitating your Marik voice told me that I could voice act. What will you do when you finish YGO Abridged? Probably have a bit of a cry. But there are other things that I would like to work on. I would like to... I'd like to do more writing professionally. I'd like to continue doing online content as well in some shape or form. There are plenty of other shows that I'd love to talk about and riff on, not necessarily do parodies of, just because that's much harder these days without a budget and without, creating something a bit more original than Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. But I would like to do more content in that vein. I'd also like to write original series as well for my channel. I have an idea for a queer romance series that I'd like to put together. Live action, of all things. Colo Sign, thank you so much for the super chat. Can you do the Vegeta, I'm haunting you, but as Marik saying Bakura and ending with ignore me? Okay, since you asked nicely.
Bakura! 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 I'm haunting you. Ignore me!
Bloody hell.
There you go. Ruroni Rockman, thank you so much for the super chat. Thanks for 20 great years. I think it was in middle school when Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged started, and I've loved it since. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for loving. And Cheese Samurai, thank you for the super chat. Have you considered a small pivot with your characters and voices, like as Marik opening modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Card packs or something? The problem with stuff like that for me is I don't know anything about the card game. I would be just talking shit. I mean, I guess that would be kind of funny if it was Marik. Telling Stars, thank you so much for the super chat. When will David Bowie Sensei return to us? One day, if you're nice, if you're good. And Zeffy Lily, thank you for the super chat. Always love the series. Thanks for all the laughs. Thank you for laughing. There's a few other super chats. I'm gonna come back to them. Let's watch another episode just so that I actually do get to watch another episode before the end of the stream. I feel like I've only watched one in the space of an hour. You'll have to forgive me. Super Stitch, hey man, it's weird how you have moments where the characters know who Bakura and other times have the characters don't know who he is despite them already knowing each other. What's with that? Well, I actually did want to talk a little bit about that. A big influence for me in writing this show specifically, writing parody scripts in general, because this isn't the only show that I've written parody script for, but even going back to my childhood, I was very influenced by Tiny Toon Adventures. Specifically, shows like Tiny Toon Adventures, and their whole MO when writing that show was they've already read the script. They already know who the characters are. They're self-aware. They know that they're in a fictional piece of media. So when they talk about knowing who Bakura is and then meeting him and being like, whoa, you're Bakura, it's because it's meta. It's because it's self-aware. That's the reason. It's specifically like these characters know what the deal is. They already know how the show ends. They just are going through the motions. Tiny Toon Adventures is so peak. I do agree, Tiffany. All right. Let's go into episode 9, which is known as El Juegos de Tarjeta. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Probably not. But there's a reason for it, and we're about to find out.
En el capítulo anterior.
On the last episode of Yu-Gi-Oh!
¿Qué fue eso?
What is this new devilry?
Behold, it is the Bakura.
Pensamos que debíamos
Hereupon my fears are alleviated.
Hay algo que quiero compartir con ustedes.
Who says that? Bakura has been permitted the friendship.
No puede ser.
You have a Millennium item unexpectedly.
Sí, y la
Indeed, and with its powers I make my voice sound gruff and sexy.
Vaya, detesto la magia.
For weather conditions, this is an unfortunate turn of events.
Yes.
Y pienso quitártelo. El legendario rompecabezas
All
del
your
milenio
puzzle
es
belong to
mío.
me. Do not
No puede
want.
ser.
Si lo que quieres es mi
How dare you
rompecabezas
tamper
del
with my
milenio,
jewelry, villainous
entonces tendrás que
car?
pelear conmigo.
Hay mucho más en riesgo de
The
lo que
card game of
imaginas.
Us commences.
Y este es
Right
un
after
juego
these
de
words from our
sombras que
sponsor.
No puedes ganar.
I admittedly have not seen that dub of
Once I
Yu-Gi-Oh!
gain all 7 Millennium items, I shall use their vaguely established powers to destroy the world.
Vaguely established powers. I guess they haven't established the powers of all of them yet, so I can get away with calling them vague. But I feel like way too often, when I'm writing a joke about this show, I will just use the word vague and be like, it's vague. And that's the joke. It's like, no, that's not funny.
But first, I'm going to beat you in a card game.
Not if I can help it, you albino cream puff.
I remember showing this episode to a bunch of people before it was finished because I was genuinely scared that this was going to be a bad episode. This was back when I would agonize over the fact that I might release a bad episode at some point, and thankfully I was able to eventually rip the band-aid off and release plenty of bad episodes. But this was the one where I was like, what if I release a bad episode and people hate me? What will happen? So I was really concerned about this one. And I still don't think this episode's great. But showing it to other people and having them give me feedback allowed me to add a few things. Like, for example, the Zork and Pals sequence in this episode would not have existed if I hadn't shown this to people beforehand. Vile Vamp, what do you consider the worst episode? Well, episode 10, the one after this one, is in the running for that.
I summon the Cyber Commander, which, by the way, is Tristan's favorite monster, even though he never actually plays this game.
I'm surprisingly buff.
By the gods, that's exactly
what I want to look like.
White magical hat.
Ah.
Send his cyber commander to the graveyard.
No, Tristan! He was the finest mind of his generation.
I remember really struggling with the structure of this one, too, because it is kind of elaborate that you have to not only have them play the card game, you have to have them introduce the idea that the characters are the cards, and also Tristan dies and gets brought back a bunch of times, so you have to acknowledge that that happens. There was a lot I needed to acknowledge, and I remember being like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep doing this show, because I don't know if it's as funny if I'm actually telling the story of the show. I should just be making fun of it. But no, I think that I found eventually a decent balance between this is the narrative and this is the jokes at the expense of it.
I summon the Flame Swordsman, aka Joey's favorite monster.
Uh-oh, have I been cross-dressing in my sleep again?
Whoa!
It seems that Bakura has somehow placed our souls within each of our favorite cards.
Again?
Either that or he's turned you all into cosplayers.
Dead bastard.
By the way, Tristan's dead.
Oh, not again.
I also summon the Dark Magician.
I look slightly more ridiculous than usual.
No, you look slightly more adorable than usual, quite frankly. You don't look ridiculous at all. You look a bit silly, but you look so cute.
And now I activate Reborn the Monster in order to resurrect Tristan's original voice.
Yeah, if you don't know, in the dub in the early episodes, they didn't call it Monster Reborn. They called it, weirdly, Reborn the Monster, which I assume is a literal translation. Or did they think that it was a monster card? Like, why is it Reborn the Monster?
Hey, what gives? I liked my new voice. People were starting to take me seriously.
Sorry, Tristan, but it's much easier to make fun of you this way.
Wait a
That's true.
second. Why are there two Yugis?
I'm not sure, but sometimes when I'm
not
dueling,
sure.
it's like I can feel a powerful voice inside my head telling me how to win. Does that mean you've been cheating? Well, it's more complicated than that.
Sounds like cheating to me, Yug.
It's not cheating. It's more like we have a spiritual connection that goes far beyond any...
Hey, Big Yugi. Has little Yugi been cheating this whole time?
Nods.
Oh, you guys can all just go straight to hell.
I actually remember being very proud of the fact that I was able to make Yami nod there. I don't even remember if he was nodding in the original footage. I think he was just raising his head, but maybe he was nodding. I don't know. But that whole section is basically the earliest acknowledgement that what Yugi and Yami are doing is basically cheating. It's if other people knew that he was doing that, they would kick him out of the tournament, you know?
Now I'll place Taya in face-down position. I've always wanted to say that.
This is just like something out of a bad fanfic. If only she'd picked the Dark Magician Girl.
Dark Magician Girl. Funnily enough, I actually was never that into the Dark Magician Girl, but I knew Yugi would be, so I wanted there to be a joke about Yugi just being all about the Dark Magician Girl, because I knew fans did crave that dark magic attack.
Good luck overcoming my Manita bug.
One of us has to sacrifice themselves in order to kill that monster.
I nominate Tristan.
Seconded. Don't worry, Tristan. I always
That's
wanted to
right,
die
Joey
wearing
does.
a dress. I regret nothing.
Soon I'll be the
A lot of cross-dressing jokes in this one.
only character left. I've always wanted my own cartoon. I
Here it
think
is.
I'll call it Zork and Pals. Who's that crazy kook destroying the world? It's Zork.
That's me!
It's Zork and Pals.
This was one of the more elaborate visual gags I'd done up to this point. Like, what is that text? I think there was like a little... I was using ULEAD Video Studio, and I think there was like a little text animation thing. In fact, this might have been the first time I wasn't using Windows Movie Maker. Now that I think about it. I think I gotten to the point where the videos were getting enough attention now that I was like, I can't just use Windows Movie Maker. It's going to look like ass. It's going to look bad. People are going to think it looks ridiculous. I need to be able to do better edits than this. So I think this might be the first example of you being able to tell, oh, he's not using Windows Movie Maker anymore.
Zork, did you forget our anniversary? Again?
Yes, I was too busy destroying the world.
Can't even do it.
I've slaughtered millions.
That's my Zork. The blood of the innocent will flow without end.
His name is Zork and he's destroying the world. That little ba 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 da ba ba da ba da ba. It's just my voice pitched up. I drew the Bakoras that are dancing at the bottom there. I drew those and animated them. It's literally, I think, just a rotation of them by like maybe 50 degrees or so. Like, it's just bouncing back and forth. It's very, very basic and it looks bad, but at the time this was like night and day compared to what I had been doing. I did stop using Windows Movie Maker Golden Dragoon at some point. I know it's hard to tell.
What do you think, Pharaoh?
I think you'll be taken off the air faster than you can say Arrested Development.
That was my favorite show. Why did they have to cancel it?
Taya's tears activated her special
Taya's
ability,
tears.
making her attack and defense points look completely inaccurate.
Yes, and it also allows me to recycle...
Was that a card game joke? Was that an actual card joke that I had actually had to do like research for to know what she should have? Because that's the Dark Magician attack and defense, right? I'm going to Google that. Dark Magician attack defense. Am I wrong? Am I right? Yeah, that's the Dark Magician thing. That's not meant to be what she has. I don't know why I knew that. All right, maybe I'd read that somewhere.
Inaccurate.
Yes, and it also allows me to recycle Reborn the Monster.
Please don't kill me. I have
Oh, you
3
see.
best friends.
I probably was holding back on making so many Persona 3 references when the Grim Reaper of the cards is there. Was Persona 3 out at that point? It was probably 2006. I don't know if it was out yet.
killed them instead. It's okay, Joey. My alter ego brought you back to life with a spell card.
Just like our Lord Jesus.
That's
How
pretty
many
funny.
times do I have to kill you people before you stay dead?
The change of heart. That's Bakora's favorite card.
See, you'll notice that there's just so much explaining. There's a lot of exposition in this one. And I think you can see why I eventually started to do longer episodes, because it really does show in this one specifically that I'm struggling to balance between this is what's happening at the moment and this is the joke. The jokes were very like shoehorned in, very forced, in my opinion, in this one. I think that's why I had so many concerns about it. I was like, is this good or is it just gibberish?
Yes, and with it I'm going to turn you into a villain. That way you'll know what it's like to have your plans foiled time after time by a group of card game-obsessed morons.
Look, it's the real Bakora. I've taken control of this woman's body in order to save you guys, and I don't mind telling you it feels bloody great.
By the gods, that's exactly what I want to look like.
Conveniently, my Millennium Puzzle allows me to put souls back into their original bodies.
See, that's an actual thing that is absurd. Because at no point does Yami Yugi do anything like that again. Actually, that is actually really important, because part of Pegasus's plan is that he wants to use the Millennium items to put his wife's soul into a new body. So that is actually really necessary for Season 1, but it never comes up again. Ever. Ever.
How dare you defy me? Just wait until Zork hears about this.
Finish him.
Whoa.
Super special awesome attack.
Oh, bugger me.
It's interesting that, and I'm only acknowledging this because I know we're going to get into we're going to get into it later when there's a lot of problematic humor that arises during certain episodes, during certain moments. But I think, can I be honest, here, all the cross-dressing jokes, they're kind of way better than any of the other stuff that I reference as far as, gender fluidity goes. Because here, all the characters are like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to dress I want to dress, in the manner of the opposite gender. Like, there's no like, and that's ridiculous. There's nothing there. There's nothing there that's really disparaging them for that. So this is actually kind of a better example of that, in my opinion. I don't know if you guys agree. It's weird that it's there to begin with, frankly, considering I genuinely didn't know. I didn't have any concept of gender issues at the time. Or, I mean, I had dabbled in cross-dressing as a youngster, just because, I was like, this is interesting. But other than that, I really had no frame of reference. So having it there was more, in my opinion, just like I've seen jokes like this before, so I'm going to put it in here. And I think it's more innocent here.
I shall be a main character, even if it takes me another 200 bloody episodes.
That's
I
true.
say, that plotline made a lot more sense in the original manga. Where did you get your evil ring from, Bakora? My father bought it while he was in Egypt, looking to purchase some blue hair dye.
Oh my god, you see why this is frustrating, because could have done so much with that flashback to Bakora's dad. But I only had like 6 minutes to work with, so I was like, I have to skip through it. I have to get through it. There's just so much other stuff happening. Ah, man, it kind of sucks that I didn't actually get to sit and work with that.
Man, I had the most unbelievable dream. There were 2 Yugis, and Bakora was a main character. I usually enjoy dreams that involve 2 Yugis, but that one was very disappointing.
That's a funny joke. That's a funny sex joke that doesn't actually say anything that sexual. She just says she enjoys dreams with 2 Yugis.
My breasts are in danger. Hey, that sounds like the plot for the next episode. Come on, gang, let's go find out what it is.
Oh no, the animation budget ran out.
Who's that crazy kook destroying the world? It's Zork.
That's me.
It's Zork and pals.
Rhino Benkei points out that you had to work with a 10-minute time limit at the time, and I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, YouTube back then did not let you upload longer than 10 minutes. So if you had anything that was longer than 10 minutes, you had to split it up into pieces, which I eventually did with the YGO Abridged movie. But yeah, that's wild to think about. I hadn't even thought about the constraints of YouTube affecting things. Trogdor! Trogdor! Now that's... it's taken me on a journey seeing the Star Wars kid and then the Nintendo 64 kid and then Trogdor. I'm feeling what other people feel when they watch these shows. when they watch these episodes, because it's been so long since I've even considered watching my show that all of these references were very important and a big part of my life at the time, and everybody knew what they were. But now I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, this is such a weird trip down memory lane. I feel very old, Blade of Smosh. A classic memery, absolutely, Demon Cross. Oh, let me read really quickly some super chats before I forget and move on. Because we've got episode 10 coming up, which is, honestly, and certainly at the time, one of, if not the worst episode of YGO Abridged. And I'll talk about it in a minute. Let's see. Thank you so much to Ollie Johnson for the super chat. As a long-suffering wrestling fan, I completely understand why you stopped, but I really loved the Mark remark, especially showing it to non-fans. I'm glad you loved the Mark remark, and I have a lot of strong memories about the Mark remark as well. I'd love to revisit it in some shape or form. The problem is, wrestling footage these days, even back then, it's very hard to keep that stuff without from getting copyright struck. I also have my issues with the WWE as a whole, and the people they support, and the people that they're in bed with. So I wouldn't want to promote their stuff, even in a humorous capacity. But I wouldn't be averse to doing a different promotion. Like some people have suggested AEW, which isn't a bad idea. I actually wouldn't mind like starting from day one of AEW, since it's on streaming, right? They have all of that on streaming. It could be fun just to go from like AEW episode 1 onwards, you know? The AEW Rewind, I think is what I was considering calling it. AEW Mark remark would go unfathomably hard, says Curly Bree. Well, you're very kind. Curly Bry? Curly. Surrounded by perverts, thank you for the super chat. Recently watched Capsule Monsters. Seeing the dual armor merge with monsters made me think about Kamen Rider Den-O. Any kind of dual armor situation makes me think of Kamen Rider, period. In fact, I will always regret not knowing about Kamen Rider sooner, so I could have made all manner of references during the Joey versus Valen duel, because a lot of people like to reference Kamen Rider while they're watching that. But yeah, no, Kamen Rider Den-O, love to hear it. I'm a big fan.
Ore Sanjo.
Dan Mullen, thank you so much for the super chat. I remember seeing you at Alcon 2008/2009 while I was cosplaying Bakura. I mimicked evil Bakura for my first D&D character, and he'll be my next big bad.
I am pretty big and pretty bad.
Alcon, that was my first convention appearance as a guest. I actually remember the first Q&A that I ever did. It was in a bar, and the whole place was packed, and everybody was staring at me, and it was really weird. I still remember vividly being stood in front of that crowd. And I remember one of the first questions, if not the first question I got, was, "Are you dissing 5Ds?" Somebody got up to the mic and was like, "Are you dissing 5Ds?" And it was... I actually made the joke. I was like, security. I was joking around because I was like, oh, a 5Ds fan is going to attack me. But then an actual, I don't think it was a security member, but it was a staff member walked over and pulled them to one side. And I was like, oh, I didn't mean it. I didn't actually want anybody to intervene. It's fine. They could talk shit about me talking shit. It's okay. Dr. Professor Patrick, thank you for the super chat. As someone whose first language isn't English, your show sure helped me improve on this field. Thank you, and congrats on the 20th anniversary. Thank you so much, Dr. Professor Patrick. My first language isn't English sometimes, it feels like, but honestly, the fact that you've benefited in an educational manner from my show, I think that's wonderful. I think that, you know, if I put anything positive and constructive out there into the world because of making these jokes, then I'm very happy about it. Zephy Lily, thank you for the super chat. Always loved the series. Thanks for all the laughs. Thanks for laughing, Zephy. I do appreciate that. Wex Darn, thank you for the super chat. Hey, LK, back from the last stream. Listen to the Freezer song, and it's great. Always loved your Freezer voice. Oh my god, you could grind meat on those. Yeah, you'll be hearing Freezer again real soon in the new Hiffle episode. I don't know when it's going up, but I recorded for it about a month ago. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's going to be a doozy. If you like Frieza and Cell and them interacting, they are going to interact quite a bit. Uncle Yadra, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for everything you've done, mate. Between your own work on this and contributing to DBZ Abridged, you've been a huge influence on my life. Congrats on 20 years. Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be involved in DBZ Abridged in any shape or form. I know that they kind of had me be the narrator as a cameo, and it's not like a meaty role or anything like that. It doesn't take a lot of acting prowess. But the fact that they offered Frieza to me, the fact that I auditioned for Ginyu, and then they were like, well, hey, how about trying Frieza? Just trying one of the most, iconic villains of all of anime. I don't know if they would have necessarily used me if they had other options available, but I was really, really humbled and grateful for the opportunity to try. And I knew it could have gone very wrong. They had a lot of faith in me, and I'm very happy to say that together, it's not just me. Me and the Team 4-Star guys. I want to shout out Kaiser Neko, who directs me every time. We created something very memorable, I think, with the Frieza character in the abridged version. Kin Dragon, thank you so much for the super chat. You're a gift to the world. Well, thank you. Please don't return me. Ant Demo, thank you so much for the super chat. I know this might be a bit of a spoiler, but I'm curious how Marek would behave in your Egyptian arc. Are he and Bakura separated?
We are inseparable. We are so close. Having said that, when we get to the Ancient Egypt arc, I'm going to be like, whoa, that guy. I don't know that guy. We've never hung out. You've never seen me in the same room as that guy. He's just going crazy. You don't put me in the same boat as him. I'm a good guy now. We're friends. Yugi. Hey, Yugi. My old friend going back way back. I don't know who Bakura is.
No, I don't know how I'm going to handle that. I put a bit of thought into how Marek is going to return to the narrative, because he does come back and he's like,
hello, I'm happy now. Isn't it weird?
Something like that. He's going to be just the opposite of how you'd expect. Tahanok, KFP Adventurer, thank you for the super chat. I have a lot of warm memories watching your show over the years, and way back when, that podcast that shall no longer be named. Thanks for the 20 years. I appreciate that. I'm glad you have positive memories. That's the meaning of life. People sometimes come up to me and say, what do you think the meaning of life is? It's not my it's not my area of expertise, but sometimes people do ask that question. And in my opinion, the meaning of life is just to leave things a bit better than you showed up. Just put a bit more good in the world than you arrived, than was there when you arrived. And honestly, if I've given you some positive memories, even if there's been some negativity here and there, if I've left you with more positive than negative, I feel like I've accomplished what I hoped to do with my life. So thank you. And I hope that you're able to produce as many positive things for yourself in a similar manner. Spinorama, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you think the Mark Remark would ever return with this VTuber format? I don't like a VTuber format for a Mark Remark. If I were to do the Mark Remark again, I'd either be on camera, which is most likely, or I would just not have a visual representation of me. I'd probably just have my voice. But I don't like the idea of a VTuber for Mark Remark. It feels weird. Don't know why. Just distracting and weird. Paru, thank you so much for the super chat. A small gift for irreparably changing my voice box. I love imitating your Jack Atlas and Naruto specifically. Oh, your poor voice. I'm glad to see that Ninja Bridge still lives on in your head, based on recent cameos. Oh, yes, definitely. Naruto spoof is always on my mind. Sometimes more so than Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, honestly. I love Naruto spoof. I make that show to make me laugh. So, of all the different videos, the side videos that would come back, the Naruto spoof is the most likely. Just because it makes me laugh. Adam Lombardo, thank you again for the super chat. Hooking up with Dark Magician Girl is awesome until you're pissing a dark burning magic attack. It's worth it. It's worth it. Bree Zerka, thank you so much for the super chat. What a super special, awesome past 20 years. Without Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I don't know if my spouse and I would have gotten as close as we are. Thank you for the memories. Oh, gosh. I was a matchmaker, was I? Well, I really am happy to hear that you've gotten a lot out of the show, and I'm happy to hear that you guys hooked up, and congratulations on the marriage. That's wonderful. Patrice Laser PDB, thank you so much for the super chat. Does Seto Kaiba still hate stairs?
I never let go of a grudge. You'll have to pay me a lot of money to stop me hating things. And stairs are at the top of the list. It goes Yugi, stairs, my dad, And then anybody who fucks with Mokuba. Yeah, I said the F word. What about it?
Monster King 97, thank you so much for the super chat. But you didn't say anything, but I do appreciate it. All right, really quickly, last few super chats here. Oh, there's actually quite a few more. Sorry. I will get through these as quickly as possible. Russell, thank you for the super chat. To be fair, the Bakura episode is basically trying to fit a whole pre-Duelist Kingdom arc into a single 24 episode. You've got a good point there. It is unnecessarily complex in the actual episode as well, because it is condensing a lot of things into a single episode in the actual dub, in the actual anime. Dragon Guardian, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you think Goku and Yami Yugi would duel over whose hair looks more like a protagonist? Also, second question, would you react to other Yu-Gi-Oh shows? I know you make jokes about them in RBI's show. RBI. Do I think Goku and Yami Yugi would duel over whose hair looks more like a protagonist? You say duel. I don't know if Goku would have the patience for a card game. I don't think so. I think that they would just accept that their hair is equally impressive. I think they'd get along. I think they'd fist bump each other and be like, yeah, my man. Monster King, thank you for the super chat. Would have been funny if Pegasus went, wait, you could have helped me with my wife at any time, Yami? Damn it. Well, I think it's because that's why he's doing the whole tournament, is he's trying to rope. I don't think he even knows Yami necessarily exists. I think he's just like, oh, this kid found an item. I want it. I'm going to trick him with a tournament rather than just going to him and asking. Crack Fox Jr., thank you for the super chat. The Mark remark actually got me back into wrestling. Now I'm a wrestler. Thanks for the impact you have on my life. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Way to go. I hope that you are thriving on the indie scene, I assume. That's awesome. Jackson, thank you for the super chat. Popping in on my break to hang out and say happy 20 years. I've been here for 15 of it, and I've been waiting to see Bakura's vengeance the whole time.
Oh, it's coming. My vengeance is slowly but surely arriving.
Brady Wells, thank you for the super chat. Doodle la 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 la. Doodle la, indeed. You're speaking my language. Christine in the Orrery, thank you so much for the super chat. As a trans woman, the jokes later about the princess are honestly fun to me because Kaiba making her look like his brother is real effing weird. Here's the thing. It's a strange plot point because it gets kind of changed in the dub. And I don't know if I was aware of the change specifically. If I was, I don't know why I didn't acknowledge it, but the original plot point is that the Big Five make the princess look like Mokuba, and they're doing it as a way of mocking Kaiba, which is still a strange choice creatively. I'm genuinely grateful for your insight as a trans woman yourself. I know that there are people who look at the disclaimers that I put in the YouTube descriptions and think, oh, he's disowned all of his humor. The truth is, I've not disowned practically like 95% of the jokes. I've personally, I disown like a small percentage of jokes that pop up here and there throughout the first few seasons. And unfortunately, I do personally think the Princess Mokuba jokes were made in poor taste and with a lot of ignorance on my part, because I don't think I understood what I was talking about. I just was coming from a place of sheer ignorance. And this is what I want to emphasize though. If you enjoy those jokes, I don't want to take that from you. If you enjoy those jokes, if you, not even as a trans woman yourself, but anybody else, if you find humor in those jokes, I'm not trying to take that away from you. I wouldn't want to take that away from you. I just really want to be clear on where I'm coming from, that sort of thing is just not something I would be comfortable standing beside these days. I just wouldn't be comfortable. I wouldn't want to put something like that out there. And it's from personal experiences that I've had where I've come to that conclusion. And I've talked to a lot of people about it. And the main reason that I put those disclaimers in the videos, and I just want to take a moment to acknowledge them. The reason I put those disclaimers in the videos, I put those there several years after I started feeling this way, because more than one person came to me and said, is there any way you can put a message somewhere where it's apparent that these aren't jokes trying to attack a disparaged community? These aren't jokes at the expense of a minority. These aren't jokes that you're doing to punch down with people. And that was important to me, ultimately. That was important to me, that there is a message out there somewhere that is accessible and is visible, far more than it's important to me to say these jokes are bad and I disown them, because that's not even necessarily what I'm saying. So I'm grateful for your insight. I really am, Kirstine. I really want to say that your perspective on it is just as valuable, if not more so than mine. But I just want to be clear what my perspective is. But thank you for that. Thank you for speaking on that. And thank you for prompting that. Dark World XL, thank you for the super chat. Have you considered a collab with Taka for when Darts shows up? Oh, I already... Darts has already shown up. Darts has been here and gone. We've done all of season 4. Oh, wait, do you mean like have Taka be in the commentary? No, unfortunately, he's way too busy to be involved in something like this. I don't think he would be available. Sorry about that. I think I understand what you're asking. No, he would not be available for the commentary. It's just gonna be me. Naki Peruna, thank you so much for the super chat. YGO Abridged has given me some vocal tics like Marek's "Ignore me" and Tristan's "Just fuck already" and "Burn the witch." Also, I love Lordy as well. Greetings from Finland. Oh, heck yeah. Rock and roll angels. Bring 9 hard. Rock hallelujah. Thank you so much for the super chat. Monster King 97, thank you for the super chat. Marek,
I don't know that British necklace man. I don't know that British necklace man. Walking around with a ring, what a weirdo. Everyone knows rods are where it's at. We love rods in this house. There's some rods in this house. Dis US Potovi, thank you so much for the super chat. It's hi LK, it's Sergio from Twitch, if you remember me. No, absolutely. Thanks to the 2020 lockdown, I discovered YGO Abridged, though I wish I'd found it much earlier. In any case, thank you for continuing to work on the series. All the best. Well, you're very kind. Thank you so much for your very generous super chat. I do appreciate it, and it's good to see you. I'm sorry that I've not been streaming on Twitch as much. I'm sorry I've not been streaming, period, as much as I'd like to be. I've just been... life has been a whirlwind. It's been a hurricane, as the folks in Duckburg would say. Reaper's Agent, thank you for the super chat. Which arc was your favorite to put together, whether that was as it was going or when it reached the finale? Honestly, overall, I think season 4. I think the whole Waking the Dragons arc has been one of my favorites to work on. Partially because I think it's the strongest season of my show from start to finish. I don't know how many people agree with that, and it's probably a bit of a hot take, but I think it's got better editing because I employed a bunch of editors from outside my own sphere of influence, and I also think a lot of the humor is much funnier, and a lot of the I don't know what you call it, but a lot of the narrative stuff is just written stronger. I'm sorry about the super chats, Violet Raptor. I know. I'm sorry. I'll finish up on these super chats real quick. Ash Kitten, thank you for the super chat. Hope you referenced the funniest line to me. The Egyptian arc. Marek says, like, back in the day, people dueled with swords. Luckily today, we use cards.
I miss swords. All right, we'll leave it there for now. And I will come back to the super chats in a bit once we're done with the next episode. But I do want to watch more episodes, so I apologize if it's taking a little too long there. All right, let's jump into episode 10, which is titled after an Evangelion episode title, I believe, which is Both of You Duel Like You Want to Win.
Who keeps throwing these cards at me? It's not funny, you know. Stop it.
No, my harpies. I can't believe I lost.
Maybe next time you'll put more than 3 monsters in your deck.
See, this is right off the bat. This is why I'm not a fan of this one. Panic sucks. And I'm not even just saying Panic as a character sucks. My Panic voice sucks. I didn't do anything funny with the character. I think at one point Yami Yuki calls him Chin Face. That's the one thing I remember. I don't think it's a very good episode, and this guy is a big part of why. I don't like him in the actual episode either.
I'll be taking your star chips now.
Super special awesome rescue! We heard screaming. Is everyone okay?
I lost another duel.
You were screaming because of that?
Yeah, that's intense, man, especially in Yu-Gi-Oh! World. Why are you scoffing?
What are you, 5 years old?
It was very distressing.
We were trying to sleep. Honestly, this is exactly why I hate blonde people.
Okay, I'm laughing. I shouldn't be laughing. This episode's bad.
Calm down, Joey, you bloody yank.
She was my easiest victim yet. Her huge breasts were no match for my enormous chin.
That's the one joke I have. Have you noticed? Later he'll say chin face, and here he acknowledges that he has a big old chin. That's all I could think of. I was genuinely struggling. I think this episode used to be significantly longer than it is, but I cut it down because I hated it even at the time.
Don't worry, Mai. Since I'm the main character, it'll be a cinch for me to win back your star chips. Time to recycle my sexy transformation sequence.
And time to recycle a bunch of jokes as well, apparently. Because he's talking about being the main character, he's talking about his transformation sequence. That's just the same old jokes that I've already used.
Who's the black
Why? Chapped. You're damn right. Why? Why does that play? I guess because he's sexy. I think that's the point. Why does Shaft play?
It's time to duel, sucker. Can you dig it?
That Yugi's one bad mother.
Shut your mouth.
I'm just talking about Yugi.
Then we can dig it.
That's... Oh, and then we have an Evangelion parody. That's why that joke exists. So that he could say that. Now I understand. You'll notice through this episode, there's several music-based gags, because I couldn't write anything. I couldn't come up with anything that was actually funny. So there's various moments here where I just play a song instead. And you'll see what I'm talking. I'm going to count. That's one song, and then here's a song. This one's funny, though, because it's Evangelion. Oh, this is elaborate. Whoa! Oh shit! You know what? I take everything fucking back. That was fucking amazing. The episode's great. That was great. How did I do that at episode 10? Holy shit. That was surprisingly very good. That actually gets me hyped. And now we have to watch the rest of this episode, so it's going to be a big disappointment.
It looks like it's my lucky day, Yugi. Pegasus has offered a vast reward to anyone who can eliminate you from the tournament. I'm trying really hard to do this voice and coming up like Otto from The Simpsons.
Yeah, maybe you could use the money to buy yourself a voice that doesn't frighten small children.
I'll teach you to make fun of me.
Hey, these things must come in handy.
Because he's kinky, you see. That is supposed to be a joke about him being kinky, but I don't think it I think that might have even been one of the jokes where I was like, oh, I don't have anything for this, so I'll just go make sex jokes. Which was unfortunately a go-to. It's a song. Singing a song is funny. Music is better than jokes.
Yugi.
That's the third song.
He's in big trouble. I agree with Mai's boobs.
That's not fucking funny. Like, the boob jokes are funny to me. That one was the least funny one. I agree with Mai's boobs. Not even an attempt at a subversion on the joke. Not even an attempt on doing a twist on the joke. It's just, she has boobs. Bad joke, Martin, from 2006.
Worst vacation ever.
It's so much fun being a bully.
You know something, Chin Face?
Chin
You
Face.
look like the illegitimate offspring of Jay Leno and Tim Curry.
With the Castle of Dark
Huge knock on Tim Curry right there.
Illusions on my side of the field, my monsters will be hidden from sight.
This is why this episode is bad, in my opinion. Of all the episodes to fuck up, on my part, the one where he summons the Castle of Dark Illusions and it gets knocked out by the catapult turtle shooting the Gaia up there, it should have been a home run. It should have been a home run. And it was not. I foul-balled the whole thing.
Making things much easier to animate.
I cast magic missile at the darkness, revealing your side of the field.
I say, that was a superb strategical move at a critical juncture. Who the hell said you could hang out with us?
Why is that happening? Why is Joey being just randomly mean? Not a fan of that kind of gag.
Well, as I set all my monsters in defense mode, stalemates are very exciting. I can barely do the voice at this point. I've lost it.
This is a really lousy episode. It reminds me of our spin-off show,
Yu-Gi-Oh! DMX. No! Another song. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. X gon' give it to you. He gon' give it to you. censor it.
Honestly.
Now, that's the 4th song in 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes. Now, that is a great joke. That and the Evangelion gag kind of make this episode justify itself. Having said that, they don't belong in this. They don't feel like they're part of the episode. They feel like they've just been inserted in there. Super Stitch, hey Martin, with that first joke you did for GX, were you too hard on it back then, especially since you've been rewatching and reviewing it later years? I don't think this joke is harsh, is it? Isn't it just saying DMX instead of GX?
Who would want to watch a cartoon about a bunch of rap artists playing card games?
The joke's about him not knowing what the show is. I don't think that's a harsh joke.
Hey, I like that show.
Touch me again, Tristan, and you're going home in a body bag.
Why? Why? Why, though? Oh yeah, that was absolutely a Family Guy style cutaway, which is embarrassing to admit that I was doing that kind of thing, but yeah, it's absolutely justified in describing it that way. Why is Joey so angry?
My catapult turtle, I can launch my dragon champion toward your castle, shattering its flotation ring, thereby causing it to collapse on...
He said flirtation ring, right? Because I can't say things, apparently.
Your castle, shattering its flotation ring.
Flirtation ring.
Thereby causing it to collapse on top of your monsters.
This card game is a load of bollocks.
That's kind of funny. Just because all you have to do is describe what's going on. And that's funny by itself. Having said that, do you see what I'm talking about with this episode? It's just very low effort, very obvious jokes, and occasionally a song. I hate it.
If I can't beat you, Yugi, then I'll kill you instead.
There's a song. Just a song. We're playing a song now. And the flames went higher. That's kind of funny because he's describing the flames going higher and it literally has become like a big tube. That's what he was singing about, Johnny Cash.
Why aren't you dead?
Terrible character.
As I explained earlier, I'm the main character.
5 songs.
You, however, can just go right ahead and die. Mind crush.
It's just a repeat of the gag from earlier about being the main character. It's not good. It's boring. It's lazy. It's just same old shit. We're almost done with the episode. It's kind of funny because of the Evangelion thing.
Bullying is just wrong.
Oh.
Destroying people's brains with magical powers is A-okay.
Could I have my star chips back now?
Oh.
Only if you beg me. Come on, get on your knees.
You're kidding, right?
Did I stutter or something? Bark like a dog, woman.
So that would have, in my opinion, been funnier if nobody else in the episode had been a dick to anybody. If Yami just came out of nowhere with, get on your knees. If Yami had just been out of nowhere, been like, okay, get on your knees, bark like a dog. That would be funny if it was just completely out of nowhere. But having said that, it's just another example of characters being assholes to each other. And it's just crossing a line because there are some implications there that he's just being horrible to a woman, you know? But at the same time, it's a fucking bad episode. It's not a good episode. This episode fucking sucks. I'm not a fan of it. We got more songs though. Let me play. Can you dig it? No, I cannot dig it. It's bad. I would like to bury it again. She's a maniac on the floor. And she's dancing like she's never danced before. The pouting. Now, you know, as much shit as I give the jokes in that episode, great choices of songs. Those are some great songs. Those are some hot tracks. We've got Ring of Fire, which is a classic. We've got the Evangelion theme, the fucking Cruel Angel's Thesis, which is one of the best anime themes of all time. You've got Maniac, Maniac. Those are great songs. Not a good episode of YGO Abridged. I'm such a panic right now. Yes, my giant chin is getting in the way of me enjoying the episode. Oh gosh, why is it gone so big? Hang on now. Can I shrink it? Yes, I can. Is that going to make it actually shrink on the screen? Okay. It got real big out of nowhere. That's because I saw My Valentine. All right. That was weird. Hey, it's episode 11, which is a better episode than what we just watched. I don't love Johnny Steps. Johnny Steps is okay. He's honestly one of the funniest characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! If only because he's the only character who realizes that he's dueling Yugi and is like, oh, I'm not doing that. So many other characters could have made that call and saved their own skin and not gotten fucked by the shadows. But instead, it's just Johnny Steps that does it. With music like that, you could be directing Suicide Squad 1. Boom, 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 boom. It's depressing that I know at least one of the needle drops from that movie. I've not seen Suicide Squad in a long time. When it came out, I was watching it like crazy because it was so bad, and I love watching bad movies. But it's been a while. It's been a while since I've heard Jared Leto be like, he's a hunka, or whatever he says. Yeah, what's up? Twinkle's inside the cat box? That's funny. On top of the chair. That's... What a crazy cat.
She loves that crate.
All right. Yes, the purples. Sorry, not the shadows. All right. Luminia, thank you so much for the super chat. Nobody Drinks from My Gal, thank you for the super chat. It's an interesting name. Just wanted to say that hat will never not be funny to me, but I'm glad you enjoy it. It tickles me as well. I love having butts on my head. Nick, thank you for the super chat. Matic, I'm as happy and harmless as a gummy bear. Odeon, where are the gummy bears now? Matic, Florence took them to ancient Egypt. He took the gummy bears to ancient Egypt. I guess if you need to snack on something. Bored Ouija, thank you so much for the super chat there. Was awesome to meet you at TinyCon, LK. So glad you're still at it 20 years later. Well, thank you so much for stopping by. I loved popping by TinyCon last week. For those of you who don't know, I did my one convention of the year, and it was a one-day show, so it was a very singular experience. But there were some really wonderful and very positive and supportive people I met there. I had a really nice time. It was very low intensity, which is really what I needed right now. And it was nice to get to see a lot of people. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you. I got to be on a panel with a Hex sister, which was a huge reveal for me, because I didn't know when I sat down on the panel that one of the people on the panel was a Hex girl. I said Hex sister. That's not right. Hex girl. They're not the Hex sisters, Martin. Anyway. Slade445, thank you for the super chat. Congrats on the 20th anniversary you've been following since high school. 8 years employed out of college now. Still one of me and my friends' goats. Well, congrats on the employment. That's really cool. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I hope that you're doing well. Hope that you and your friends are doing well. Thank you for considering me a goat. A goat. Yes, from Scooby-Doo, one of the Hex girls. What was her name, Marin? Kimberly Brooks. Have you got that okay?
Yeah. Also the voice of Pam Bondi at South Park.
I don't know if that's as exciting for people. Rebel Umbreon, thank you for the super chat. I love when you have the opening paused and Yami's giant eye stares into my soul, silently judging me. Yes, you're seeing directly into Yami Yugi's eyeball right now.
Preview.
I'm staring at you. Reaper's Agent, thank you for the super chat. Panic versus Joey, Battle of the Chins. Yes, I suppose Joey does have a pronounced chin sometimes. I would like to see that fight. I think Joey would win, because Panic, shit. Adam Lombardo, thank you for the super chat. Wait until Marek sees Zork's Millennium Rod. Oh, that is one moment I'm really looking forward to, is the reveal of Zork and the reveal of Zork's anatomy, to put it as best I can. I'm looking forward to that. I'm doing all right, Dark Cloud. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for popping in. Ewok on Fire Pie, thank you so much for the super chat. Shout out to my favorite scene, Keith's 3 goons. Oh yes, I can't stay up tonight, so I'll likely miss it. The delivery of "let's go do more cliche henchman things." Okay, always cracks me up. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I certainly know the episode you're talking about, and I know you're talking about Sid, Bones, and Zygor. Those are some underrated Yu-Gi-Oh! Villain characters, in my opinion. They're a lot of fun. I think they're overshadowed by Bandit Keith's patriotism, but otherwise, they are my bread and butter. Zap, thank you for the super chat. My mate showed me the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Bonds Beyond Time when I was about 13, and I was hooked. My religious parents never let me watch Yu-Gi-Oh!, so you got me into a lifelong hobby. I'm very happy to be your Yu-Gi-Oh! Dealer. I'm happy to have given you a sample of what Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be so that you could jump into it yourself head first. Thank you, Zap, for the super chat. Aussie Dragoon, thank you again for the super chat. Man, Joey's rage in episode 10 has gone beyond Brooklyn levels and has gotten out of hand. I've become, it's no longer Brooklyn rage, it is the greater New York area rage. Yeah. Shugo Rozu, thank you so much for the super chat. Yu-Gi-Oh! DMX, X as in X the Dark One, too easy. I don't think that's why he's X the Dark One, but yeah, no, you could argue that, you know, he was destined to make a GX parody. Carlos Antinopai Araya, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, Carlos. Thank you so much for the very generous super chat. Gosh, congrats on 20 years. As a Chilean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged taught me English, most of the American pop culture references I know, and shaped my sense of humor. I'm very grateful to have been a source of information and inspiration for you, even indirectly. Anytime people tell me that they learned English because of my show, which is not uncommon, which is crazy to me, that's always quite mind-blowing. And I think that's really exciting that you were able to do that through my show somehow. I'm sure it didn't help that I could barely speak in these early episodes. Deboat44, thank you so much for the super chat. This stream doesn't deserve a spot in my deck, but it would make a good coaster for my drink. JK! Big fan since 08. Wow. Your videos shaped my whole friends group humor. Much love from Cali. Well, from Cali to Cali, because I'm personally living there myself. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And I hope that you find a good coaster for your drink. Preferably not this baby. But we do sometimes use the baby as a coaster for our drinks. It's very wobbly. It starts crying. The coaster is always crying. We have to get some tissues for the coaster. I am in California. It's true. It's weird. You wouldn't think so from listening to me. Joshua, thank you for the super chat. I command you to chill. The episode was hilarious. I'm honestly quite chill about it, but it was a bad episode. I'm not upset. I don't think it's a bad thing that I've made bad episodes. I've learned to live with it. Some of the episodes are not great, in my opinion. Some of the episodes even verge on being horrendous. There are some in season 2 that I'm going to be like dunking on. So you'll have to, if you like season 2, I'm sorry. I'm probably going to not hold back a bit. Shy Eye, thank you for the super chat. So sad I missed the first stream. I started watching the series when episode 6 had just released. That was a lot of people's first episode, was episode 6, because that was when people started really sharing the episodes, like, on a wide scale. I started to see people posting in forums like, you should check out this Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged thing. It's stupid or it's funny. And it was around episode 6 where I really started noticing a lot of people were converging on the channel. So a lot of people started with episode 6, which I think is probably because it's one of the stronger episodes for a long time. I actually used to say that was my favorite episode before certain episodes later on down the line. Specifically Marik's origin episode where it shows Yami Marik killing his dad. I think that was for the longest time, episode 6 was the best. And then that episode happened and I was like, nah, that one's a bit better. I can finally say that. And Jim74, thank you so much for the super chat. Tell Marin their work in 4 nights was amazing. I will. They are not here at the moment, but I will let them know. I think they'll be surprised to hear about that. All right, that's every super chat that I've been able to read, although there's a few more in the chat that haven't popped up for some reason. Breeze Darling, thank you for the super chat. Is this over after this season like Team 4-Star after Cell? No. Oh, wait. Well, after this season, it's the end of the show, so yeah. There isn't any more, really, to abridge. It's just the Ancient Egypt stuff and then the final duel, and that's it. So, unfortunately, yes. Marin, someone says your work in 4 nights is great.
4 nights?
4 nights.
Oh, 4 Nights of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you go. And Monster King 97, yeah, thank you for the super chat. Zorg, this is my little Zorg. I call him Zinc. Okay. And thank you to Pookie Lover 9000 for the super chat. Tra la 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 la. Tra la 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 la. Do da la la la. All right. Chelsea, you just moved from California and you miss it. Please enjoy it for me. I'll do my best. Take care, Marion. It's great seeing you. You picking up Jade? Yes. Ant Demo, thank you so much for the super chat. I hope one day you'll be well enough to come back to Australia for Smash or another convention. If they want me, I don't know if they necessarily want to bring Lil Karibo back, just because I don't know if I'm a big draw for them these days. But I had a great time at those shows. Those were some really wonderful conventions. And some really wonderful fans over in both Australia and New Zealand. Really quickly, I had the enormous honor of sitting next to Charles Martinet doing signings there over 2 weekends. And just being in the same room as Charles Martinet is very cool. You know, it's really exciting just to be around the voice of Mario, amongst other things. But he was so good to all of his fans. He was so caring. He took his time with as many people as he could. He was just such a positive presence, and I could tell he loved every single interaction he had. Yeah, no, I can't say enough good things about Charles Martinet. He's so great and so kind. And he was very nice to me. Which he really didn't have to be. You know, he could have... I was so not part of his experience, you know. All right, let's watch another episode. Episode 11, called In America. I wonder who's in this one.
Obviously on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Just kidding, it's only Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's a different show that isn't this one, get it? I mentioned Buffy.
I have to reach Pegasus's island. Fortunately, I can pilot a helicopter. Thank God for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Once I get there, I'll probably bump into...
Look at that slowed down footage. Look at the ripples on the ocean. You can really tell that I was like, I need Kaiba to say all this dialogue, but I don't have enough footage for it. So I'm going to slow this bloody helicopter footage way down. And it looks like ass as a result.
Thank God for Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Look at this water.
Once I get there, I'll probably bump into Yugi.
That's terrible.
I'll never forget the way he beat me in a card game.
Card game? Why is he so turned on?
I can remember it like it was just yesterday.
Wait a moment, did you just summon a bunch of monsters in one turn?
Season 0.
Yeah, so?
That's against the rules, isn't it?
Screw the rules, I have green hair.
That's the first variation on Screw the Rules, I Have Money, which is actually frequently shouted out. I'm surprised by the sheer number of people who love the green hair version.
Huh.
And of course, that was Season 0 footage, which blows everybody's mind when they realize that there is a different anime that features the same characters and doesn't have as many card games.
Well, that was just weird. I should probably cut down on the drugs.
Kaiba loves drugs. He got money, therefore he has drugs. Fly attire game. That's sorry. Every time I see that, because it's been a long time since I've actually sat down and watched some of these episodes, so that intro sequence is so nostalgic for me. I remember when I made these episodes, when I made these videos back in the day, whenever I got to just slide the intro in there, whenever I got to a point in the script and in the editing where I was like, and now I get to put the intro here, it was exciting because it felt like it made the episode like official in a way. It made the episode complete. It finally was like a TV show almost because it had an intro sequence. And I was just so happy about it. Sorry, Mega Ultra Chicken, you'll have to forgive me. The chat is a little bit crazy. I will scroll back a bit and see if I can see what you were saying. I don't think I see what you were saying, sorry. Apologies. I'm trying my best to watch the episodes and also keep up with the chat best I can, but it's not easy, as you can imagine. Sorry about that.
Look, Bakura, your Millennium Ring is
The
acting
gaydar.
really peculiar. Oh, that's just my gaydar.
Oh, that's just my
father
gaydar.
had it installed in my Millennium Ring in order to protect me, because I look so bloody effeminate. I wonder why it's
Why would it protect you? Watch out, there's gay people. What are you talking about? What do you mean? I do love that it's a gaydar. I think that was actually something I was very proud of, was that this is Bakura's gaydar. It's so stupid. It's such a stupid joke, but I remember being like, this is perfect. Now that this was actually probably the first time I was playing around with what the Millennium items could do. So because of jokes like this, you have jokes like the rod only affecting people called Steve. Bakura's gaydar is funny.
pointing towards Pegasus's castle. Bugger if I know.
This tournament is simply fabulous.
Hey, here's a little inside joke, is that in my head, I don't know if I ever acknowledged this, but in my head, the gaydar isn't pointing at Pegasus, it's pointing at Croquet. Breeze, darling, I meant with your illness, this is the end of YGO Abridged after this season, like TFS did after Cell. No. The show is ending because the show is ending. It has nothing to do with any extraneous factors. Sorry.
Ooh, let's celebrate by watching the Spice Girls movie.
Oh, not again.
I say, that reminds me of the time when I was transferred into your school.
Kids, this is our new student, Bakura. Not only is he new here, he's also British. So feel free to bully him like crazy.
Hello, everyone. It's bloody nice to meet you.
What's wrong with his voice?
It's here, girl.
Go back to Russia.
I had to come up with 3 distinct child voices, and I think I almost managed it. Very nearly managed it.
I wanna go home.
A 4th one. That one's kind of the same as one of the others.
You blokes are a bunch of wankers. Check.
I love Bakura. Look, Bakura standing in front of a class of people he'd not met yet, going, "You guys are a bunch of wankers." Honestly, I wish I could feel what it's like to say that in front of kids at school like that.
Mate, I sunk your battleship. Joey, you redefine what it means to be a moron. I was watching you play card games with your mates when my Millennium Ring started pointing towards your Millennium Puzzle.
Right? Sorry, I was like, wait, it means... I was starting to put it together, and then I remembered what Yami says.
I can't imagine why.
This Millennium Puzzle is simply fabulous.
It's just funny because he says the exact same phrasing as Pegasus. So it's like, this, what is he saying? This tournament is simply fabulous. And then this Millennium Puzzle is simply fabulous.
By the way, where are the others? Joey and Tristan are busy guarding Taya. For some reason, ever since we got back from the Shadow Realm, she's been under the impression that she's a caterpillar. Soon I'll be a beautiful butterfly, and then Yugi will love me.
There's so much room in that tent. Why aren't they lying in there? Is it because it's just... I guess they're trying to give her privacy, but it's just wild that she's got that massive tent to herself. Elisa, what was the Russian joke about? It's about people saying go back to your home country and choosing a random one.
Oh my, a helicopter. I wonder who it is.
I hope it's Santa Claus.
I actually think it's a Simpsons reference now that I think about it, because there's that one bit where Barney goes, "Go back to Russia!" And I think that's why. It's the girls' tent. Then why don't the boys have a tent? The boys should have brought a tent. I'm just saying, why is there just the one tent between 5 of them?
Look, it's that guy I defeated in the first episode without even breaking a sweat.
Actually, Yamika Sara makes a good point. It probably is Mai's tent because she's the only one that was prepared. That stuff that gets lost in the abridged version because, like, I didn't want to work with Mai as a character because I hated doing the voice, but it was, in the original version of the show, she actually gives them food and she gives them a shower and she lets them use a tent. So yeah, I think that is what the deal is. It's like Taya is using Mai's tent and the others don't have one.
Hey loser, how's it going?
I'm here to kick ass and play card games, and I'm all out of cards.
Here's your deck, Kaiba. By the way, I've forgiven you for hospitalizing my grandpa. Can we be super special awesome friends now?
Like hell. I don't have time to waste with you Scoobies.
I like, can we be super special awesome friends now? Like that, like Kaiba would just be convinced by that.
No offense, Yugi. You're a great duelist and all, but your buddy over there couldn't duel his way out of a paper bag.
That does it. Nobody talks about my pal Tristan like that.
I don't like to be touched by people who don't have money.
Yeah. Joey, are you okay?
That's a very early yeah.
Check his pulse, Yugi.
That's true. That is actually what Bakura says. But it's not the first thing he says. If you remember, I don't know how many of you have seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Or the dub thereof, but they will go to commercial and they'll have a character say a line, and then they'll come back from commercial and have the character speak in the same cadence but say something completely different. And in this instance, for some reason, they go to commercial and then they come back, and instead of saying what he said before, Bakura says, "Check his pulse, Yugi." It's just like, from what? From tripping? From falling down a little bit? Okay. I mean, I maybe Joey's had issues with this in the past. I don't know.
It's time to duel, you big palooka.
This looks like the perfect...
I remembered that Joey was from Brooklyn, so I had to throw in a little dialogue related to that.
opportunity to stroke my ego. Behold, the briefcase of death. This contains the prototypes for my revolutionary new dual disc system. So tell me, Wheeler, are you ready to be completely emasculated in front of your friends?
One thing I will say is that the dual disc that eventually gets made is so much cooler than this fucking weird Beyblade bullshit. Like, what is this? What is this thing that he throws? And then, like, I don't know how it works. I honestly don't understand how this actually is meant to be like a cool device. But it's so much lamer than the actual dual disc.
I was born ready, Kaiba. Go, Armored Lizard.
I think Beyblade's gonna sue somebody.
Oh, hey, I even acknowledged Beyblade here. I didn't think that I had ever mentioned Beyblade in my show, and then apparently I did. It's right there. Let's Beyblade.
Battle Ox, Axe, Smash Attack.
You duel like a dairy farmer.
How appropriate. You duel like a cow.
Now you can see that I'm slowly starting to convert jokes into references. I've gone from, hey, I can make jokes about what happens to, what if the characters just said things from other things? And this, unfortunately, this part of the episode especially, suffers from that a fair amount. Having said that, at the time, I remember being like, this is so funny. He said Monkey Island quote. And then he said fucking, hey, Rustage, great to see you in the chat. I hope you're doing well. He goes from the Monkey Island quote, and then there's the upcoming Ridge Racer, E3 reference. I think it got to the point where I was like, I'm making YouTube videos. I should reference things from other YouTube videos that I like. So the Ridge Racer thing comes up.
Joey's sucking even worse than usual. Keep a stiff upper lip, Joey.
So here's this giant enemy dragon.
Blue Eye.
How did I waste him summoning Red Eyes with a fucking E3 reference?
Attack his weak point for massive damage.
Ridge Racer.
That costs you 599 US life points.
No.
Okay, I hate the fact that I did the joke, but at the same time, 599 US life points is just a funny phrase. US life points? 599 of them? If you don't get the joke, go and watch Sony's E3 conference from 2006. It's where they revealed the PlayStation 3 and announced that it would be retailing for $599 US, $599 US, $599 US.
I lost. Oh, cry me a river, mutt. You dweebs don't know what you're up against. Pegasus is ruthless. Camp, yet ruthless.
Okay, I like that. I like the Kaiba's like, he's ruthless. Camp, but ruthless. Like, that's just funny that he's like, I acknowledge that he's kind of fun and fun at parties. He's kind of got a fun guy personality, but he will fuck your shit up.
Seen it with my own eyes. It was at a surprisingly popular card game tournament in America.
It's weird. Well, he said in America. Now that's weird. Now, when he said a surprisingly popular card game tournament, I don't know if this is conveyed very well, but the point is, look at the number of people there staring at a tiny fucking table. Like, it doesn't make sense. Having said that, I've seen crazier things in real life. I don't know if this is a thing that could happen in real life or does happen in real life, but it seems absurd to me that everybody is in a stadium looking at that. Why isn't the duel being presented on the Jumbotron, on the screen? It feels like this would just not happen, and the fact that it is happening takes a huge suspension of disbelief, even for Yu-Gi-Oh! But watching the streams makes sense because you're getting like a close-up view of what's going on. But looking at this, would you want to do this? Would you pay for tickets to go see this?
Mokuba was supposed to be there with me, but since he'd been kidnapped for about the 50th time that month, his seat was empty.
That's not what's going on. What's actually going on here is that's Pegasus's seat, I think. But the fact that I saw an empty chair next to him and was like, oh, Mokuba got kidnapped. That's why he's not there. That's actually really fucking funny. In my opinion. The fact that I thought to make that reference to Mokuba's kidnapping.
Pegasus was facing the Intercontinental Champion, Bandit Keith, who apparently...
Who are all those guys stood watching? Are those photographers? Are those people from the press? I assume they're photographers. Yeah, one of them is looks like he's taking a picture. Is that a butler? Are they waiting to go up next? What's going on?
Champion Bandit Keith, who apparently likes to remind everybody that he's from America. You can't beat me because I'm an American. See what I mean? It looked like Keith was about to win. But then suddenly Pegasus invited some kid from the audience to their table.
How does he know he's gesturing to him out of all those kids from that distance? That's impressive by itself. That kid has got good eyesight.
Hey, what are you doing? Asking for help's illegal. In America.
I don't need help. A child could beat you, Bandit Keith, and I'm going to prove it.
I like that Pegasus's voice is kind of losing control of itself.
America.
I don't need help. A child could beat you, Bandit Keith, and I'm going to prove it.
Are you my mommy? Pegasus gave the kid some instructions, and
why did he just like whisper to him, do this?
Just one turn, Bandit
I guess it's more impressive to write it down like you're a magician or something.
Lost. Who would have thought that a child could win a children's card game?
Now I want to give credit. I don't remember who it is, but somebody told me to write who could have thought that a child could win a children's card game. And I really wish I could remember at this point. It was somebody I was chatting with at the time who was like, can you imagine a child winning a children's card game? And I was like, that's a brilliant line. I'm going to throw it in one of these videos. So that isn't actually one of mine. That is actually something that a friend of mine at the time threw my way. And I wish I could remember their name. It was somebody that I just have. It's not somebody I've fallen out with or anything. It's just somebody I'm not in touch with anymore. And I really wish I was. Because I want to be able to credit him for that joke.
This can't be happening. In America.
I've turned this tournament into a total farce.
Yay!
And just what was that story supposed to prove?
It proves that I am obscenely rich. Smell you geeks later. I have a hyperactive brother to rescue.
I didn't even get to tell him what I want for Christmas.
Tristan.
Ooh, I can sense you, Kaiba boy. And once you get here, I'm going to spice up your life.
If you wanna be my lover,
Spice Girls, Spice Girls, Spice Girls.
make it last forever.
Lots of singing jokes.
If you wanna be my lover.
Oh, because I found the font. I was like, surely they would have sued me before because I was doing this gag. Oh no, it's because I found the Adult Swim font.
Oh my gosh, we're in trouble. What are we gonna do?
I'm going to do my laundry. Could I have some change?
That is audio from Dan Green doing a panel wherein he impromptu kind of just is like, I don't go around in real life just speaking as the characters, which is a shame because I would love to just be a fly on the wall watching Dan Green go about his life doing Yugi and Yami voices to himself. But that is specifically an interaction that, in my opinion, was, very funny improvisation on his part. But I thought it would be fun to throw it into the actual footage of the show, and I couldn't think of a good place for it, but having Yugi be like, oh, we're in trouble facing up against strings is kind of funny. All right, let me read some of these super chats. I'm going to try and watch at least one more episode. I know I've only been going for just over 2 hours, but I'm feeling a bit worse for wear. I'm going to try my best to keep going, though. All right, let's see who we got super chat-wise. Maki Maru. Thank you so much for the super chat. Wait a minute, did you just summon a bunch of monsters in one turn? Yeah, so? That's against the rules, isn't it? Screw the rules, I have pendulum summoning. Ah, that mechanic always makes me think of you. Thanks for the 20 years. Yeah, anytime a mechanic in Yu-Gi-Oh! Allows people to summon a bunch of monsters in one turn, people think of me. I am the summon a bunch of monsters in one turn guy. Whenever people mess with the rules, they think of Kaiba. But when people are able to summon a bunch of monsters in one turn, that's me. They think of me. Hey, Alex, welcome. Ooh, you'll have to forgive me. Exhausted. Actually, I just got a message from my family, so let me triple check that everything's okay. Like I mentioned at the top of the stream, I'm waiting to hear back what's going on back home. I had some bad news, but I'm hoping to hear a good update. Okay. It is not an update. It is just things are as they were before. Okay. All right, well, I will leave it for now. Car Kick, thank you for the super chat. Hearing Birdhouse in Season 0 intro unlocked a core memory. Sadly, I don't know from where. A core memory? But you don't know from where. Well, I mean, I identify with that. I'm always remembering things and then not knowing where I remember them from. That is a frustrating thing about getting old. Is your memory is playing a little trick on you sometimes. Naki Peruna, thank you so much for the super chat. Forgot I had 2 other ticks from this. In America, and screw the rules, I have money, though. It's more like variations like, screw the rules, I have X. No, I feel you. Speaking of the screw the rules joke, there was, we had a t-shirt, and I think it got acknowledged earlier in the stream. We had a t-shirt that was just, you know, screw the rules, I have money, with a money clip that had a Blue Eyes White Dragon on there. And I remember going through airport security one time, and one of the security agents being like, one of the TSA people being like, screw the rules, I have money. I like that. I like that. And I was just like, yeah, I guess. I guess it's a positive attitude in a way. I guess it's inspirational. It feels like, I don't know. It's very Seto Kaiba. And I guess everybody kind of wants to ultimately have that vibe, have that attitude. Everybody wants to aspire to a certain aspect of Kaiba. Rebel Umbreon, thank you for the super chat. My interpretation is that Pegasus isn't gay. He just intentionally plays up the camp because it's fun to screw with people. Yes, I actually like that interpretation. I mean, not to say that he can't be gay. If you interpret Pegasus as a gay man, that is absolutely valid. I completely understand why you see that. But for me, my interpretation of him is that he likes to fuck with people, and part of that is his silliness, his foppishness. He lures you in with a false sense of silliness, and then reveals that he's actually quite sadistic and cruel, and that's how he gets you. And I think that's a great element of Pegasus. As he doesn't exist, thank you for the super chat. Go back to Russia is still in my Stim vocabulary. No one ever gets it. It is probably my favorite line of the show. I'm glad you like that one. Clunkyman, thank you so much for the $1 super chat. CJD Guy, thank you for the super chat. Happy 20th, LK. Thank you for giving my sister and I something to share. In your opinion, are there voices that have improved or been lost with new microphones? Yami leveled up, but I do miss Crunchy Season 1 Pegasus. Really? Gosh, I guess I don't know. I think all of them have kind of been an improvement. Having said that, and I don't know if it's related to the microphone or what, I actually think that my Valentine voice from the early episodes, like episode 3 and 4, I think that was a better my voice than what I ended up doing with her, which was just sort of, I'm from the 1950s, you see? Like, why? Why did I do that? I think I was just like, I have to exaggerate something about her, and her sassy sexiness is the only thing I could latch onto. And we love her sassy sexiness, but I could have done a better job. It's a funny voice, though, I guess. I don't know. I can't think. Honestly, I don't know if any of the voices I miss the way they used to sound. I like that they all sound clearer. Having said that, my voice generally, because I'm 20 years older, I do find myself struggling with certain things like Taya. Taya is very difficult to maintain. The falsetto just gets so shrill and crackly that sometimes I think to myself, maybe I should get an actual a female voice actor to play the role of Taya. But I also just really think it's funny that for the whole show, it's been me going, oh, it's me, Taya. Like, I think that's funny. Don't worry, I'm not going to get I say don't worry. I'm not actually going to get a girl to play Taya. I think it would be funnier to stick with me voicing her. It's all good. Ant Demo, thank you so much for the super chat. Can we get a little British off between Bakura and Bastion?
Oh, that posh shithead. Oh, very well. Bastion, I challenge you to a British off. Very well. Salt and vinegar crisps. Little Britain. Sitcoms that haven't aged very well. Other British things. Well, I'm going to do the most British thing possible and stab you repeatedly. No, my one weakness being stabbed. Yes, I do apologize though, as I'm British and I have to do it with good manners. No, I've been wounded. Anyway. Could you get a far more manly man to voice Taya? I guess that could be a joke. Shy Eye, thank you for... Hey, welcome. Shy Eye, thank you for the super chat. If I recall correctly, manga duels were tabletop. Kaiba thought Pegasus had range for his ability, so the disc would give him a safe distance, lost in its adaptation. He thought distance would matter? That's actually very funny. I like that he's like, I don't want to get close to Pegasus. I'm going to throw this little toy. Yulinator, thank you for the super chat. Voting with my wallet for maximum set and attempt funny moments. I am so stoked for Dark-Sided Dimensions one day. I hope it will be a masterpiece. I hope it will be good as well. Hang in there amidst the hurricane. Will this have a schedule? What I'm doing right now, I'd like to do it every weekday around the same time, 1 p.m. PT. I don't really have a set schedule, no, but that's the goal. Let's keep reading these. There's a few more. OMG Major Rager, thank you for the super chat. The $5 Canadian dollars. What do I think of Melvin's tongue? Somebody asks. The Mega Ultra Chicken says. It's impressive. Very impressive tongue game. RNGesus VTuber, thank you for the $10 super chat. Now I'm imagining Dan Green doing Yami and Yugi ordering at McDonald's drive-thru. There is actually audio of that, kind of. There is an old commercial for, I think, was it Toonami? No, it can't be Toonami. There was an old, like, Jetix commercial or something like that, where it's got Yami and Yugi, well, it's got Yugi going into a fast food restaurant, and he tries ordering food, and Yugi keeps interrupting him, being like, no, get this! And it ends with him saying, don't forget the ketchup. Kids WB, thank you. You guys know better than me. But it's a very funny skit. It's a very funny commercial. OMG Major Rager, thank you again for the super chat. Does it ever feel surreal being the godfather of abridging and seeing how much it ballooned after you started? I mean, it's certainly surreal. I'm very grateful to be within that umbrella of abridging and to see everybody else succeeding and thriving. There are so many people who got into abridging who have become very successful in the voiceover sphere, and it's incredible to watch. I myself have never reached the levels of success as a lot of my peers from abridging have. But that I don't feel like any kind of spite or negativity about that. I don't personally think that my strength is voiceover. I think my strength is stupid jokes and silly voices, maybe. But mostly the jokes and mostly just the funniness. And I don't think that I fit in voiceover professionally as much as a lot of these other folks do. I didn't start doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged because I wanted to do voiceover. I started doing Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged because I wanted to make people laugh and I wanted to meet other people who loved Yu-Gi-Oh! So the fact that a lot of people did get into abridging to sort of make the transition to voiceover was surprising to me, just because it just wasn't something that had ever entered my mind. But I did try and jump into voiceover, and I did work professionally for a good decade or so. Gave it the old college try. You know, I'm proud of what I was able to accomplish, but I'm mostly proud of what everybody else has done, because everybody else, the Team 4-Star guys, the Something Witty guys, the Schmuck Squad, so many of these groups have gone on to do bigger and better things, and it's incredible. It really is. Red Blueberg, thank you for the super chat. Pegasus gets arrested for Spice Girls copyrights. That would be ironic, of all the things for Pegasus to be arrested for. Ravio Rabbit, thank you for the super chat. Do you have any tips on making abridged content? I'm making a series on Zelda, and episode 2 is almost out, and just want some tips for the future. My big tip that I would give would be just try to have fun with it. Try and make yourself laugh more than anything. If I'm being honest, trying to write for an audience, trying to stress out over whether the audience will laugh, before I even knew if I would have an audience, was a bit of an obstacle I had to overcome and sort of put to one side. More than anything, I needed to make sure I was enjoying myself. And that should be first and foremost what you're doing. If you're having a good time, the rest of it will come. Focus on making sure you're enjoying it. If you're not enjoying it, don't push yourself. Don't force yourself to keep doing it. Find something that you really enjoy and that you're really passionate about. If that's abridging, that's great. But don't be discouraged by, say, a lack of views, or, you know, if you have negative criticism from people in the comments, don't be discouraged. Don't let yourself, you know, be affected by that. Focus on what you feel and what you get out of it. That would be my suggestion. And the rest of it you can worry about later. And I hope that your Zelda Abridged comes together real good. I'm sure it will. Elisa, thank you for the super chat. Can you tell where the Spice Girls reference comes? Well, Pegasus is a very camp fellow, and Spice Girls were a beloved group within the camp community. You know, the queer community loves the Spice Girls. Lots of different communities love the Spice Girls. And so Pegasus kind of, by enjoying the Spice Girls, it just is, it's a frame of reference for people who behave a similar way. If you're camp, you love Spice Girls. That's my feeling. I'm very camp. I loved the Spice Girls. Rune the 1412, thank you for the super chat. I actually discovered you because Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged has a page on the actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki. It was specifically the Slifer, the executive producer reference. And if you don't know what that reference is, Slifer, the executive producer, was named after Roger Slifer, the actual producer of the show, I believe. He wasn't named executive producer. I just added the executive because I think executive producer is funnier than producer. Because the word executive is just funny when applied to a giant red dragon with 2 mouths. Imp Brush, thank you for the super chat. I reread the manga recently, and the scene where Pegasus reading comics by himself is unironically a great moment to show how lonely he is. Yes, Pegasus's character is kind of fascinating because he doesn't reveal a lot directly. He's very he keeps his cards close to his chest, and he keeps the reality of his persona, you know, to himself. He doesn't really show any like cracks in his armor, and his armor is very unique. Like I said, he kind of presents himself as a fop, but he is very deep for you know, for what you'd expect from that character. Very, very fond of that, of Pegasus as a villain. Merlin Caliber, thank you so much for the super chat. Love you, little Karibo. Well, thank you very much. We've got a few super chats here that I've missed. Sorry. Monster King 97, thank you for the super chat. Kaiba, I want Pegasus as far away as possible. But still, I want to play a card game with him, so I had to design the dual disc to be throwable. A projectile. Chef Circuit, thank you for the super chat. Kaiba thought Pegasus was using close-up magic to... Oh! Kaiba thought Pegasus was using close-up magic to read people's expressions instead of magically reading their mind. Wow, that's actually really clever, and actually is a really good explanation as to why he designed the dual disc the way he did, specifically to combat Pegasus's cheatingness. That's cool. You've shown me a new side of the character and the dual disc that I didn't realize. That's awesome. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. Blue Eyes White Spider-Man in the chat says, why did you give Slifer and Ra joke names but keep Obelisk the same? Because, to me, referencing the torment was always going to be funnier than anything I called him. And I just couldn't think of anything funny to go with Obelisk. Maybe I should have come up with something better. But, I mean, better than, you know, just using his actual name. But, honestly, it's a bit of a missed opportunity, admittedly. It should have been consistent. They should have all three of them had different names. It would have been funnier. Or maybe it would have been funnier to have them all just have their regular names. I don't know. But you're right, it is weird. It does stand out. Can I say Kal Elna in Bakora's voice? Absolutely. Kal Elna, the village of the damned, aka my home, Kal Elna. JP Dayman, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy 20 years of content, LK. Here's to all the fans, human and feline alike. I know my cats enjoyed seeing and hearing your work. Well, I'm very glad. I'm very glad I could entertain some kitties. I love me some kitties. I've got a couple of kitties here myself. We have our cat Mozzarella, and we have our foster cat Twinkle. Both of them are very cute. Merlin Caliber, thank you for the super chat. I don't know if I already said it, but thank you for that. And Red Blueberg, thank you so much for the super chat. At the end of the series, imagine Tristan regains his normal voice / intelligence, but has no memory of the horrible treatment of 20 years. That would be depressing for him. I'll double check if I've got any more super chats left. If there are any, I don't see them, but I will come back to them after this next episode we watch. Let's watch at least one more because it's episode 12. And what is it? Duel of the Dead, which is the Bones versus Joey episode. One thing I want you to know going into this one, and I think this is good context, and I think it'll probably give a good idea as to where my head was at and what was happening in my mind at the time. I remember getting a message on YouTube. Do you remember when people would DM each other on YouTube? I don't know if they still do. I don't think so. But back then, people would send me messages and give feedback that way. People would be like, let me DM Little Karibo and tell him what I think. And one person specifically, after episode 11 and the introduction of Bandit Keith, I don't remember who they were. I don't remember what their name was. But they DMs are somehow back. Are they for real? When did that happen? Somebody DM'd me after episode 11 came out and said, okay, you've come up with a really good joke for Bandit Keith, but whatever you do, do not have him say "in America" ever again. Do not make that a recurring joke because you'll ruin it. And I read that, and I respectfully disagreed. I respectfully disagreed with that sentiment. I was like, no, I'm gonna do that more. Now, I think they had a point. Don't get me wrong. I think that person saying that had a point. And if it was anybody else, maybe they would have listened and they would have come up with something more interesting, something a bit more subdued, something that wasn't just a catchphrase for the character. But I'm not that guy. I am not that person. I ended up, for a bunch of characters, Bandit Keith, one of the obvious ones, I ended up making a lot of characters just sort of be like, this is the shtick, this is what my deal is, and every time I pop up, I'm going to do a variation on this. And I personally am tickled by that. I think that's funny. I think it's because I grew up on like English sketch shows like Harry Enfield and stuff, but I tended to enjoy comedy that was like a skit that ended with a catchphrase. And I honestly think that it's kind of a strength of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged that was part of it. I think that's what, a lot of people latched onto was the catchphrases. Maybe it would have been a funnier show overall if I hadn't done it that way. Maybe it would have held up better if I hadn't done it that way. I still enjoyed that we did it like this. I say we. I still enjoy that I made the choice to have Bandit Keith just go, "in America" the whole time. I think it's memorable. I think it's memeable. I think it's my kind of humor. Favorite catchphrase-based skit? Oh, I don't know. I couldn't come up with one off the top of my head. I don't even watch that much of that anymore, so... Okay, here we go with episode 12, Duel of the Dead.
No duel monsters were harmed during the making of this episode.
That's bullshit.
Except for Karibo.
I was gonna say, I remember being hurt quite a bit during...
Help, I'm being chased by the slowest dragon in the universe. Think of all the card games I'll never play.
That's a good line. the slowest dragon in the universe, not that funny, because, it's just a dramatic reveal of a dragon. And I had to come up with something. But think of all the card games I'll never play is valid. These characters would absolutely think about that in the moment of death.
Oh no, it's Kyberzilla.
I knew he'd come for me one day. If you think this is huge, then you should see my ego.
I'm actually noticing that you can kind of hear the voices kind of settling a bit. I'm not struggling. I'm not forcing it as much as I used to in the earlier episodes. You can kind of hear me finding Joey's voice here.
Now sit at your master's feet like the dog that you are.
But I don't want to be a furry.
Shut up and bend over.
Yes, master. Oh, love to love you, baby. I had to come up with something here because nobody's talking. Play a song.
Man, what a nightmare. That was almost as bad as that dream I had where Kaiba beat me in a card game. Actually, Joey, I think that really happened.
It was a dream.
I was just complimenting myself for settling into Joey's voice, but it sounds like I'm still forcing it a little bit.
Hey, Yugi, my Skankentine told me to give you this letter.
Skankentine.
How the hell am I supposed to read this? It's just a bunch of pink smudges.
Yugi's got a girlfriend.
That does it. Tristan is so getting a mind crush.
How dare he say I have a hot girlfriend? I like to think my Valentine wrote the message in like illegible lipstick, but then just smushed it all together when she folded the letter up. Now, somebody in the chat asked me earlier, what do I think fly at higher game means? Which I assume means, because it's from the Season 0 theme, that you're always going to be presented with a new game. It's always going to get harder. The stakes are going to keep getting higher. But you can fly at that shit. You can absolutely confront that shit and take it on because you're the king of games. You can defeat any game. So it's basically like take on any challenge, you know? That's what I interpret fly at higher game to be.
Check it out, I've been working on my dance moves.
This one's called the Joey.
Joey, that's the worst dance I've ever seen.
The only reason he says that is because I had to use footage of Joey doing that. And why is he doing that? Why in the original episode is Joey waving his arms around like that? I forget. But because he's doing that, I have to acknowledge that he's waving his arms around, so he's dancing. Why not?
You're just jealous.
Brains.
You said it, zombie boy.
Oi, isn't that Yugi? The only person on the island whose hair is more ridiculous than ours.
That's a cute shot of Yugi. I like him doing his little gremlin chuckle.
Brains? Let's go do more cliche henchman things.
Okay.
And there's that line, that exchange that the person earlier was mentioning. Let's go do more cliche henchman things. Oh no, it's let's go do more cliche henchman things. But no, I actually really enjoy these characters. And the zombie boy thing, like, I think it's a funny gag. Obviously, the fact that he only says brains and he's subtitled, that's kind of a funny gag. It means he has more going on than the other two, really. But if I'm being honest, I think back in the day, I was like around this time, I was a huge zombie fan. Like, I was obsessed with zombie movies. I was obsessed with zombie media. I was collecting, like, the Walking Dead comic and all that. I was just big into zombies, and so I was like, this character is zombie themed. I want to do something fun with him that really emphasizes the fact that he's a zombie. So he says brains, I think, because I wanted to be a zombie. I wanted to play a zombie in something. And if it was just this creepy kid, I wouldn't have had as much fun with it. So it was really my way of being like, I love zombies.
Excellent work, my fellow Americans. It sounds like those kids are about to fall right into my trap.
I like one of them has a very strong English accent. One of them's a zombie who has no discernible accent. And Bandit Keith is like, my fellow Americans.
In America? Oi, boss, you know we're not actually in America, right? I don't understand a word you just said. Try speaking American. It's the only language I understand.
Now that quote is special to me because there was an episode of the reality show Gene Simmons' Family Jewels where Gene Simmons' son, Nick Simmons, interjects during an interview, during a talking head, and says, America, try speaking American. It's the only language I understand. And I was like, wait, somebody showed me this clip and I was like, wait, did he quote the show? Did he quote Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged? And then later in the episode, you see one of the people in, not the family, but hanging out with Nick Simmons wearing a Bandit Keith in America shirt. So I was like, whoa, Nick Simmons is a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, I guess. That was wild for me at the time. It's just weird to think about that quote appearing on a reality show.
I gotta go take a whiz.
Too much information, Joey.
That's true. That is how it plays out. In the dub, Joey's like, I gotta go hide because someone's stalking us. But in this version, it's just, I gotta go take a piss.
That graveyard arena should be around here somewhere. These sunglasses sure make it difficult to see in the dark, but I refuse to take them off because I'm an American, and Americans always wear sunglasses. Now it's time for my favorite Shakespeare quote. Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him in America. Brains.
Now, I like to imagine the guy that messaged me, who was like, don't do more of that. Don't make him say in America all the time. I bet he was pulling his hair out. Watching this one. I like to imagine this episode is infuriating to him.
Ain't nothing like getting out what you gotta get out. Hello, did you enjoy watching me pee?
Rise and shine, dweeb.
Hey, where the heck are we?
Brains.
Joey sounds so camp. Like, Joey kind of has like,
hey, where the heck are we? Hey, where are we? Thanks for watching me pee.
Oh no, it's a goth.
I wonder what's keeping Joey. If he's gone much longer, we'll have to give his screen time to Bakura. Let's ditch the tosser.
poor. Sorry, just Bakora's attitude is so funny. Really, it's kind of funny watching these episodes because I didn't remember what I did with Ryo, Bakora, for a lot of these older ones. I remembered him not even really being part of the dialogue, but every time he said something since his debut, since we got through the Yami Bakora stuff, it's just been, I'm going to say a British thing. I'm going to say English slang about something.
Score a wallet. Finders keepers.
Hey, that's Joey's fine-ass sister. I'd recognize that come hither look.
It's Joey's fine-ass sister. Sorry, we're getting to the point in the show where I'm probably going to be laughing a lot of these jokes because I don't remember them at all.
Anywhere.
Let's all wander blindly into that cave over there.
What do you people
sister.
want from me?
Your star chips, dweeb. I have a score to settle with Pegasus, so Zombie Boy here's gonna beat you in a card game.
Why didn't you just take my star chips when I was unconscious?
Shut the hell up!
See, there's too many of those jokes. There's too many of those jokes where, and this was, I think, a common issue with the Abridged series back in the day. A lot of people did this. It's not just me, but I am an offender. The joke would be, this is what's happening in the episode. And then another character would go, but isn't that really stupid? And then the other character would go, shut up. And that's not that funny. That's not even funny to me, you know? Like, it's just, hey, let me point this thing out, you know? It's not funny.
It's time for Zombie Boy to sing the American national anthem in America. Brains, 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 brains.
He has the voice of a zombie angel.
I remember writing that bit and realizing that I had no real way of, like, cutting away from him singing without it just being awkward and having him stood there singing the Brains song, which is, you know, looking at it now, I'm like, that's funny that he's singing the American national anthem in zombie language. But Zygor, is it Zygor or is it Sid? I don't know which one of these guys is which. The dumb guy, having him go, he has the voice of a zombie angel. I was very happy that I came up with that line because it really didn't feel like I had any kind of punchline whatsoever until I came up with the combination of zombie angel.
We can't find Joey anywhere. This is so totally the opposite of super special awesome. Whatever that is. Look, a couple of coffins.
Well, what would be the opposite of super special awesome? I guess lame. It has to alliterate, of course. Lame. Super equals lame. Or maybe normal. Maybe the opposite of super is normal. Normal. So the opposite of special would be, I guess special would be normal. So the opposite of super, you know, I'm going to be subpar, regular, regular, regular. I like Shade 45's version. Oh, that's regular, regular, regular. That's regular, regular, not that great. Lesser, lamer, craptastic. That just sucks. That's really what I wanted to say. That's some sucky, sucky, suctitude.
These'll come in handy when we kill Joey for making us look for him.
What the fuck? Wait. Why did he not like doing that much?
Oh no, a supermodel! Stop trying to make out with Taya. That's my job. Yugi touched me. That means we're engaged.
That's gonna get copyright struck, surely. Save you from the beast about to strike. Sometimes I'd get away with just putting good songs in my episodes, and that would distract people from the fact that I didn't have any jokes.
Hey, what happened to Bakura? Maybe they finally wrote him out of the show. Help! This supermodel's one of my fangirls. Not a fangirl. Come back here and help me, you wankers.
I remember being very happy. This is an edit that you can't really tell, I don't think, but Bakura, with him running there, it doesn't go on that long in the original footage. He just sort of is like briefly like, oh dear, oh dear. But here, he's like, come back.
Not a fangirl.
Come back here and help me, you wankers. Now, there's an edit there, right round where he says wankers. And you can see it, I think, if you're paying attention. It's obviously looped background that I've edited in order to make it look like he continues running. Now there, I think, you know, for the time and for my limited capacity for editing, I think I did a pretty good job. I remember being very proud of it at the time. Unexceptional, undistinguished, uninspiring. Can do a lot for alliteration, can't it, Shady?
Who's smexy now, bitch?
We should be okay as long as you guys don't trigger any more obvious traps.
Tristan made a reference there to the side videos. I just clocked that. So, I don't know how many of you remember, but there were videos I was doing at the same time as the actual series, where the characters would answer comments, would respond to people's comments on the videos. And one of them, I don't remember, I think it was Rex and Weevil, or maybe it was Joey and Tristan, but the fangirls were talking about how smexy certain characters were. And so Tristan, when he says that, he's attacking the fangirl and saying, who's smexy now, bitch? So he's referencing the fact that in those videos, the characters were being called smexy. I'm personally fascinated by that because I didn't even think that I would make that kind of a connection, but I did. I guess without even thinking about it, that specifically, that joke only exists because I was doing those side videos.
Oh, smeg. Is everyone from England a total spaz, Bakura? Pretty much.
And we can't say that word in England because that's actually means something different there. La 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 la.
Gang way! Women and she-males first.
Not a fan of that.
Bollocks! It got Bakura.
Good. I shall
The cut to Taya going, good! That's kind of funny.
avenge his death. My voice gives me super strength. Holy shit, it really does.
Oh, it was just a balloon with a speaker inside. I guess I wet my pants for nothing. Somebody...
A lot of peeing in this episode.
Tell my fangirls I love them. Looks like Bakura's scarred for life again.
Now that is an evergreen line. Taya staring right at Bakura and saying, looks like Bakura's scarred for life again. That applies to so many different moments in the series, I would say. Vogus says, someone remind me why Taya isn't attracted to Bakura. Because Yugi's right there. She knows what she likes. She likes a boy who wears 9 belts. And most of them are on his neck.
I sure wish Yugi were here. How am I supposed to prove my independence without his help?
Don't worry.
That's a pretty clever line. For me.
Joey, we're here to rescue you. Wait a second, have you been playing a card game? We were worried sick about you.
Hey, I'm trying to regain my self-esteem here.
I think, looking at that...
Sick about you.
That kind of looks like it's a reversed shot. I want to say, I'm probably talking out my ass, but it kind of looks like I've been doing some interesting shenanigans and trickery with the footage here.
Wait, we're here to rescue you. Wait a second, have you been playing a card game? We were worried sick about you.
I feel like he starts in this position and he looks at them, but I could be wrong.
Hey, I'm trying to regain...
That's so ugly with the de-interlacing.
...my self-esteem here.
You hang out with us. You don't have any self-esteem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Seems you're out of luck, dweeb. Zombie Boy's monsters are about to wipe out your life points.
Let me guess. In America, right?
I wasn't gonna say that. In America.
Joey, you can still win. Just remember your love for Serenity.
I bet I was thinking about that guy who messaged me when I wrote that one.
And you can do anything.
You're right, Yug. That was my favorite Joss Whedon movie.
What?
This is for canceling Firefly, you goth bastard.
Brains.
Well, Joey, it looks like you learned an important lesson. The only way to kill a zombie is to destroy the brain.
I also learned that I'm secretly a furry.
Once again, too much information, Joey.
That's not too much information. That's a perfectly normal thing. Now, it's interesting that they mention the cancellation of Firefly here, because obviously there is talk of them bringing Firefly back, very recently. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but they're talking about bringing it back as an animated series. So between the 20 years that when Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged started and where we're at now, at some point Firefly is potentially maybe coming back.
Let's get out of here before we get eaten by a grue.
They'll never be able to get past this cardboard cutout of a boulder. Another victory for America.
It's no use. It's made of solid...
How was that a win for America? We put a rock in front of the thing. Oh, America, way to go.
Cardboard. I can't believe I'm trapped in a cave with 4 guys.
Fancy a shag tear?
Oops, I mean 3 guys.
Gender stuff. It is the dawn of the dead. The ending credits. A little song. I forget what it's called. It's something fun.
Get out of my head! Get out of my head!
It's kind of funny. Family Guy, speaking of. All right. I forget what I was going to say. People were talking about stuff in the chat and I wanted to say something and I forget what it was. Well, let me really quickly rush to the super chats. I might have to call it there, guys, because we're coming up on 3 hours and I feel really fucking rough. I'm not going to lie. I hate to do it because we're slowly inching our way through the episodes. We're coming up on episode 13 here. But I don't know if I can keep going today. I do apologize. I'm going to try my best to keep up. I'm going to keep up with the streams consistently, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch 10 episodes per stream, especially if they get longer. That might have been an overestimation on my part. Okay, let me read these super chats real quick. Kate, thank you for the super chat. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Yuki. She's at work right now, but we will watch this together later. Ah, thank you, LK, for all the laughs. Well, shout out to Yuki. I hope that you and Kate enjoy watching the stream later, or now, depending on when you're seeing this. Dragonberry Mead, thank you for the super chat. Does Bakura prefer Coronation Street or Emmerdale?
I've actually never seen Emmerdale, which is weird. Coronation Street tends to be a rather juicy soap opera, but I was actually much more into Brookside when that was on. That was an intense soap opera. A lot of crazy shenanigans happening. Although I will confess, my #1 most watched soap opera is Neighbors. Everybody needs good neighbors. With a little understanding, you can find the perfect blend. That's a great soap opera. It gave us Kylie Minogue. And what kind of Englishman would I be if I didn't love Kylie Minogue?
Kongumon, thank you so much for the super chat. I dressed as Tristan Timothy Taylor for Halloween in 2008, and my mum put it on the family calendar, so you're basically part of the family. I don't know if I can consider myself part of the family, but it's really cool that Tristan was briefly part of your family.
We are family. You have put a costume that looks like me.
Jim Radloff, thank you so much for the super chat. The only YouTuber merch I own is a Bandit Keith in America shirt. You made a good meme. Also dealing with Bell's palsy. I can't smile completely, but you always make me laugh. I'm really glad to hear I make you laugh, Jim, and I honestly hope that you're hanging in there okay. And thank you for owning the Bandit Keith shirt and for enjoying the meme. I enjoy the meme too. I'm a big fan of Bandit Keith and his nonsense. Adam Lombardo, thank you for the super chat. And you wrote, thank you for the super chat. And I saw it happen in the chat as you wrote it. So I was waiting for this. I was waiting for the confusion of thank you for the super chat. Chris in color, thank you for the super chat. It's so crazy to see a Michael Jackson joke made before his passing in 2009. Just goes to show how iconic this series and its jokes are, even the throwaway ones. I suppose. I think everybody was making Michael Jackson references before his death, but I can't claim that that's a unique thing that I was doing. Ash von Faber Plays, thank you so much for the super chat. Kinecticon was stressful. This is what I needed. My partner fell on stairs. Oh dear, I hope they're doing okay. Opposite of super special awesome is stupid shitty average, kinda like con. Well, I'm sorry you had a stupid shitty average experience. More than anything, I hope your partner rests up and feels better soon. But thank you so much for the support, and thank you for being here. I hope that you have a better convention experience in the future. Certainly better than that. And Hearts Trace 25, thank you so much for the super chat. Here's $10, not 10 quid, because I'm not friggin' British. I love rewatching Marek play Slender the Arrival. You introduced me to Teddy Bear's Picnic, which, being American, I had never heard. You guys don't have Teddy Bear's Picnic? Hang on. I'm Googling Teddy Bear Picnic, because I swear, that's not a uniquely English thing, is it? In the chat, do you guys know Teddy Bear's Picnic? The Teddy Bears, I'm reading the Wikipedia article really quick. The Teddy Bear's Picnic is a song consisting of a melody written in 1907 by American composer John Walter Bratton and lyrics added in 1932 by Irish songwriter Jimmy Kennedy. It remains popular in Ireland and the United Kingdom as a children's song. Okay, so it happened, the music happened in America. The song itself is only seemingly popular in the UK. If you don't know the Teddy Bear's Picnic, and I grew up with this is a song that I heard so many times as a kid, to the point that anytime there was a picnic or a reference to a picnic, it would come up. But it goes, if you go down in the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise. If you go down in the woods today, you'd better go in disguise. For every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because today's the day the teddy bears have their picnic. It sounds kind of threatening, because they say, if you go down in those woods, you better wear a disguise. It's kind of scary. It's like, you better watch out. They're going to eat you. If they think of you as a human being, you're going to die. It's used in Banjo-Kazooie as Gruntilda's theme. Interesting. Kind of appropriate, I suppose. You've probably heard the music at the very least somewhere. Shy Eye, thank you for the super chat. Imagine being a master thief back in the past and having to possess Rio Bakura's clumsy ass for your evil plan. No wonder Yami Bakura hates him. He is a bit of a clumsy one, isn't he, Rio? He's always like, Eto Blair. Which means I occasionally have to be like Eto Blair to pretend to be him. It's, not my proudest of moments. Amoami, thank you so much for the super chat. My favorite of your performances are Naruto, yeah! Marek, yes! And David Bowie, Sama Senpai-san, Sama! I keep telling you, I'm not David Bowie. Also glad you didn't skip the Grand Prix. I'm glad I didn't skip the Grand Prix. You guys are going to enjoy the final episode of the Grand Prix coming up real soon in the next week or so. I'm really looking forward to bringing it to you guys because I'm rather proud of it. I think it's a funny episode. I've found myself chuckling at it. And usually when I find myself chuckling at the videos while I'm making them, that's a good sign. And Demo, thank you for sending your super chat. I forgot to mention this, but as a big Bakura hair size thank you to you and Matic for introducing me to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Oh, hell yeah. Also Foxy Boxes. No, yeah, I am very happy to have introduced a lot of people to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. It's one of my favorite games, and I feel like it's a game that, while it has a cult following, it could have a bigger following, because it released and it was very broken. Like, it's not a complete game. It's got a lot of problems. It's got a lot of glitches. But I actually think it's still a really great game. I actually think it's still a lot of fun. It holds up despite its problems. It's very atmospheric, and it has a lot of cool character stuff. And a lot of cool customization stuff with your vampire. Oh, let me read a few more of these super chats, and then I'm going to have to call it, unfortunately. We've got the Synth Screen Collective. Thank you for the super chat. When I was a kid, I sent you an email. I really believed that Michael Bay bought Yu-Gi-Oh! I took that seriously as a kid. Happy 20th anniversary. Did you? I'm going to look in my email right now, because it's possible I saved or didn't respond to that one. Hang on. I'm going to look up Michael Bay in my email. These are all spam. Why is spam mentioning Michael Bay? I assume it was from back when I first made that one video. Michael Bay Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm searching. Oh, hang on. Hang on. I might have it. Yes, okay. I'm going to read your email. I assume this is from you. This is an email from 2012. Here we go. I'm going to read it. I'm not going to say who it's from because I feel like that would be kind of doxing you. But here we go. And correct me if I'm wrong about this. This might not be you, Synth Scream. But you wrote, it's not a long email. You wrote, "Hi there, I had heard that you sold the abridged series of Yu-Gi-Oh! To Michael Bay." Ellipses. Next line. Why? Next line. Why? Your version is better than his, particularly because his version of episode 1 is just not funny. That's valid. I mean an explosion every time Tristan speaks? Poor. That's valid criticism. The music video in the middle of episode 1? Terrible. And that's the end of the email. I have to assume that that was your email, because there's no other email talking about it. That's funny. I have to assume that's what that was. That's your email? Oh, hell yeah. Thanks for the super chat. I'm glad that I found that. Thank you for that. That's a very special moment. Oh, I really have to get off here in a sec. Sorry. Oh, I do apologize. My stomach is really unhappy. Odo the Doll 2, thank you for the super chat. My dad is into EastEnders. He's a middle-aged man from a Philadelphia ghetto. You know what? You never know who likes the British sitcoms, who likes the British soap operas. They appeal to many people. They appeal to all walks of life. Thank you. In my restless dreams, I see that place for the super chat. Happy 20th, LK. I got my girlfriend into Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged this year, and she's a huge fan. She wanted me to tell you she has an uber big crush on your Yami Bakura. Thanks for all you do. Take care of yourself.
You know, a lot of people have a big crush on Yami Bakura, and unfortunately for them, I have a crush on crushing the Pharaoh, and I have eyes for nobody else.
Oh, you say that, but every time I walk past you in a towel after I take a shower, you're like, damn!
Yes, because I'm like, damn, I would like to damn the Pharaoh to ruination. And also, damn, Merrick.
Anthelom, thank you for the super chat. Episode 1 remastered when? I actually did remaster episode 1 some time ago. Literally like in around 2012, I think. Duelist C4014, thank you for the super chat. I miss seeing you back at Anime Expo. You one of my main reasons for going. Hope you're doing well. Well, I hope you find another reason to go, because I'm sure Anime Expo is a blast. I just never got to go really as an attendee myself. And unfortunately, yeah, no, I just have not been able to go to sell these days. But thank you for that. I hope that you're doing well. I'm sorry I couldn't see you at Expo. Evizard, thank you for the super chat. Hi, the first part... Oh, Evizard, sorry, you've explained. Hi, the first part of my name rhymes with Chevy. Been watching since episode 39. Happy to still see you making videos. Happy 20th anniversary. Thank you so much. And Ellie Peep, thank you for the $10 super chat. You are still one of my favorite human beings. Oh, well, I'm a Karibo. But I appreciate it. I do appreciate that. You're very kind. Thank you, Ellie. All right, guys. I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for understanding. I managed to go for 3 hours, even though I only watched about... How many episodes? Like 6, maybe? I watched enough episodes. So we're going to call it there. We started at episode 8 and we got to episode 12. So more like 5. All right. But thank you so much for hanging out today. This was a lot of fun. I'm going to try and come back again tomorrow with more of this. And I'll hope to see you then. We'll watch even more old shit. Even more old Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged content. And hopefully bring you some new Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged content in the very, very near future. All right, folks. I will see you tomorrow, unless something comes up, but I'll let you know. Thanks so much for being understanding, and thanks for being here, and thank you for supporting me. Thank you so much to everybody who gave super chats. It was a really incredible upswell of support. Thank you. You're very kind. I will be here tomorrow if I can. Have a great rest of your Monday. Bye. Wait, it's not Monday, is it? Is it? It's Monday. That's how far gone I am. I'm sorry. Have a great rest of your Monday. I'll see you later. Bye. Ugh. Gosh. Go back to Russia.